Halstead Telephone Company and R&J Broadcasting Incorporated is proud to present to you this broadcast on yourliveevent.com.
All right, welcome back here at liveevent.com as we're back for more of the Region 1 baseball tournament here from Oaks, North Dakota, broadcasting to you from that center field press box on Cummings Field as your matchup today features the Sargent County Bulldogs, the number 4 seed taking on number 2 seed, the Northern Cass Jaguars. Both teams getting to this game taking a different route, as in that first round action on Tuesday, the 12th of May. Those games played at the higher seeds. That was Sargent County with the win over Oak Grove. That was by a score of 7-4. And then Northern Cass, the number 2 seed, they dropped their opening game to the Oaks Tornadoes by a score of 7-2. And then coming back here on yesterday, on Thursday, on the 14th of May, Sargent County in their second game of the tournament, they were defeated by the number 1 seed Kindred. That was score by a score of 4-1. Northern Cass picked up a win yesterday against the Ball Stars out of Hankinson, Fairmont, Campbell, Tinta, Rosso, Lidgerwood, and that was by a score of 8-4. As both teams here now in this double elimination game. Game number 11 of the tournament has Sargent County Bulldog with take on the Northern Cass Jaguars. So that game is just ahead on yourliveevent.com. We're going to step away, take a word from our sponsors, and come back for more from Oaks, North Dakota.
Bank North, we strive to enrich the lives of everyone we serve. One transaction, one relationship, and one community at a time. We do it by supporting kids and schools, pitching in to help neighbors in need, partnering with rural businesses, and providing all the traditional and modern banking products and personalized lending services you expect from a reliable financial partner. Bank North, always true.
There's a new inventory of trailers at Bloomfield Enterprises of Hillsboro. You can see the latest inventory online at bloomfieldtrailers.com. Bloomfield Enterprises has a full line of Big Tex trailers. Big Tex has affordable and versatile utility trailers for all your jobs. Big Tex has a full line of products from ATV trailers to gooseneck to dump trailers and more. Call Larry at 218-368-7989 or Tim at 701-430-0877. Bloomfield Enterprises in Hillsboro.
Hey, welcome back to Oaks, North Dakota, Region 1 baseball tournament here. This is Brent Dick along with Joey Hughes working the camera for us this evening. Also, Chase Miller roving the grounds. Chase taking a break after doing all day yesterday, 4 games yesterday, 2 games today. So I'm coming in relief here at Chase after going 6 in a row, 6-0 for Chase so far in this tournament. So here in relief for this Region 1 contest now between Sargent County Bulldogs and the Northern Cass Jaguars, as we mentioned previously. Both teams making their way into this double elimination game. Both teams 1-1 in the tournament. Sargent County opening up their play on Tuesday with that win over Oak Grove, the number 5 seed. That was a 7-4 win for Sargent County. Northern Cass, they lost the opening round, the number 2 seed, and that was by a score of 7-2 to the Oaks Tornadoes. Working down here in this tournament yesterday, it was Oak Grove, or I should say it was Northern Cass. They won over the Ball Stars by a score of 8-4. And then Sargent County lost to the number 1 seed Kindred by a score of 4-1 in that Bank North bracket breakdown here. For your Bank North bracket breakdown, we're going to go ahead and go over the games today. From everyday banking to ag and business lending, Bank North supports local families and businesses with financial solutions rooted in community commitment and local decisions. Visit banknorth.bank to learn more. Bank North, a member of FDIC and equal housing lender. With that Bank North bracket breakdown, your games earlier today, game number 9, featured your winners here with Kindred taking on Center Castle. Number 1 Kindred defeated number 3 Center Cass in that morning contest. That was by a score of 5-3 in that game. Just finishing up here, game number 10, as it was Oak Grove over Oaks by a score of 16-6. That was a big 4th inning for Oak Grove as they broke the game open with that 12-run 4th inning and a grand slam by Zach Winter. He was also your your Enbridge Energy Player of the game. And Oak Grove breaking it open in the 4th inning, picking up that 10-run win, 16-6, closing it out on the bottom of the 6th inning for Oak Grove, as Oak Grove will advance now into game 12. So the winner of this game between Sargent County and Northern Cass, they will play Oak Grove for the nightcap here. And then the Region 1 tournament here with our Bank North bracket breakdown. That'll continue on Monday as the Kindred will host the winner of Game 13. Game 13 will be played on Monday, and that will be played in Kindred, and that is at 4 p.m. on Monday. And then they'll come back, Kindred here in that championship bracket and that championship game scheduled for that on at 6 p.m. on Monday, May 18th. Those games played in Kindred. So that's just coming up here for your winners this evening, as Sargent County will take on Northern Cass. Then the winner of this game will take on the Oak Grove Grovers. So that's what's ahead on YourLiveEvent.com. We're going to step away for another timeout, and we'll come back for more from Cumming Fields here in Orks, North Dakota.
Growers, prepare your fields and yields against the wet conditions today and beyond with the Drain Tile project from Chad's Excavating out of Mayville. Drain tiling will improve and increase your yield and land values for years to come. Chad's Excavating provides free detailed estimates, and with over 40 years of combined success, they provide professional installation and service. Call Chad today to prepare for your future and any questions that you might have. That's Chad's Excavating out of Mayville, helping farmers grow.
For trusted news, weather, and sports from your community, look to R&J Broadcasting Incorporated. KRJB, KRJM, and KKCQ Radio, and rjbroadcasting.com. Hear local voices from local radio with news and information from the area. Your information stations, KRJB, KRJM, and KKCQ Radio, and rjbroadcasting.com. Local voices from local radio.
Sharing our heritage, sharing our future. Choosing the right bank for your financial needs can be challenging with the many choices available. Dakota Heritage Bank is pleased you're interested in knowing more about what they can do for you. The Dakota Heritage Bank community bank setting is a strong advantage they have over larger, less personal banks. Customers are more than account numbers, they are friends and neighbors. Working together, Dakota Heritage Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Hey, welcome back to YourLiveEvent.com as we're here for the Region 1 baseball tournament. Our game matchup here coming up is the Sargent County Bulldogs taking on the Northern Cass Jaguars, as Northern Cass is the number 2 team in the tournament, Sargent County the number 4 seed in this tournament. And just going back to those pitch counts, as rules for the tournament, you have 120 pitch count daily limit, and then you have 46 to 90 pitches, you need 1 day rest, and 91 through 121 pitches, or 120 pitches, you have 2 days rest, with maximum of 3 appearances for the pitchers in this tournament. Looking at Northern Cass as far as their pitching, looking at, let's see, Northern Cass with their pitching. Cody Waitson in the tournament has 38 pitches with 1 appearance so far in the tournament. Then you have Chris Hoyland for Northern Cass with 42 pitches in the tournament with 1 appearance. Brody Ziski for Northern Cass with 130 pitches in the tournament. He's had 2 appearances as far as pitching. And then Parker Anderson for Northern Cass with 83 pitches in the tournament with 2 appearances. So looking for today as far as their pitching rotation, Wadeson, Hoyland, and Anderson all available. Zeski not available for pitching today. And then looking at Sargent County in this tournament with their starting 4 pitchers. You have Harry Newstall, who's starting pitching today with 64 pitches with 1 appearance. Hansen with 47 pitches in the tournament with 2 appearances. And then Erickson with 14 pitches in this tournament with 1 appearance. And then Jace Fury in the tournament with 112 pitches with 1 appearance and not available this evening, or I should say this afternoon, to pitch in this game. So for Northern Cass, they have Wadeson, Hoyland, and Anderson all available. Sargent County with Newstall, Hansen, and Erickson. That'll bring us into our starting lineups here. Looking at the starting lineups for the visitors here in the tournament, that'll be the Sargent County Bulldogs as Sargent County in that visitor dugout. And looking at your starting lineup for the Bulldogs, leading off for Sargent County is your left fielder Anthony Furter. Batting second is your center fielder Tristan Peterson, and starting pitching and batting third is Harry Newstall. Batting fourth and cleanup is Braxton Erickson, your catcher. Then batting fifth is your shortstop, Cole Fury. Batting sixth is your first baseman, Elijah Hansen. Batting seventh is your right fielder, Connor Olson. Batting eighth is the third baseman, Carson Daly. And then batting ninth, and your designated hitter is Brody Mayer. And playing in the game is Jace Fury, playing second base but not hitting. And then for the Northern Cass Jaguars, their starting lineup this evening, as you have leading off things for Northern Cass, is your third baseman, Brody Zeski. Batting second is your designated hitter, Brooks Crockett. Batting third is shortstop Chris Hoyland. Batting fourth is your catcher, Cody Wadeson. Batting fifth is second baseman, Kason Miller. Batting sixth is the left fielder, Parker Anderson. Batting seventh is the left fielder, Jace Aronson. Batting eighth is the pitcher, Riker Strawman. And batting ninth is Isaac Idso. And also playing in the game is Aiden Dixon, your first baseman, and not hitting, as it looks like your coaches are up there at home plate with the umpires for today's game. So before the first pitch, before your Norman County Raceway first pitch, we're going to go ahead and step away for another quick timeout. Come back for more on yourliveevent.com.
Keep your car moving along with the team at Elite Automotive Center in Fargo. What sets Elite Automotive Center apart from the herd is their truly extensive list of services. From brake and tire service to tune-ups and battery replacement, there's no job too big or small for their ASE certified technicians. Schedule your next oil change by going to EliteAutomotiveCenter.com or scan the QR code on your screen now. Never settle for standard service. Stop by Elite Automotive Center today in Fargo.
Emery Vistos Implement has been family-owned and operated since 1935. Located in Oaks, North Dakota, they sell CarQuest automotive parts and numerous lines of agriculture parts. Plus, you'll have to stop by and check out their clothing and footwear department, featuring the brands of Brothers in Arms, Howitzer, Ariat, Cinch, and Twisted X Footwear. Emery Vistos Implement, everything and anything you need is under one roof. Stop in just south of Oaks on Highway 1 or call 701-742-2167.
At Enbridge, we're focused on relationships. 23 Canadian First Nation and Métis communities now own an equity stake in Enbridge Athabasca Pipelines. In Minnesota, Enbridge has spent $450 million and counting, with Native-owned companies and in wages to tribal members working on Line 3. Every day brings new collaborations, partnerships, and possibilities. Learn more at Enbridge.com.
In times like these, it's good to know there's a place where people know who you are, no matter how long you've been gone. A place where the smells of home cooking are still in the air, where a simple wave warms your heart, and sharing stories is just a way of life. It's good to be home. Farmers Union Insurance, protecting what's important in life.
Get in touch with David Bergerman today at 701-724-6252.
Great Plains Fireworks and Sports Collectibles, Hillsboro. Fireworks and sports stuff in the same store? That's right. Great Plains Fireworks and Sports Collectibles, Hillsboro. Come in and browse the sports cards and memorabilia and fireworks at the same time. Unopened packs and boxes of sports cards, plus pre-owned cards as well. Jersey, swatch, autograph cards, lots of Twins, Vikings, Wolves, Wild, Lynx, and North Stars memorabilia, bobbleheads, caps, and more. Call anytime, 701-436-6140. Great Plains Fireworks and Sports Collectibles, Hillsboro.
It's safe to say we have it pretty good in the Drayton, North Dakota area. Growing sugar beets, making sugar, bringing a little sweetness to the world. Every day, American Crystal Sugar produces sweet products people love in a place we love to call home. It's a thing we like to call the sweet life, and we're proud to share it with you. American Crystal Sugar's Drayton facility wants you to enjoy the events in the communities of our area. Here's to living the sweet life. American Crystal Sugar, Drayton.
Imagine your life in Hillsboro, a place where neighbors know your name and opportunities are real. Here, you'll find affordable home lots and grants to help you build your future. In Hillsboro, safety, affordability, and community aren't just promises, they're our way of life. With a 24-hour fitness center, a strong school system, a trusted hospital, and a thriving business district, Hillsboro has everything you need to live well. Here, your family is our family, and your future shines bright. Discover Hillsboro, where small-town living means big opportunities.
All right, welcome back here at yourliveevent.com as We're back for more Region 1 baseball here from Cumming Field in Oaks, North Dakota, as Oaks has hosted the past 2 days of the Region 1 tournament. As Region 1 tournament officially underway, that was on the play-in game on the 8th of May here with your Bank North bracket breakdown real quick, as it was Enderlin defeating Lisbon in that loser-outs game last Friday on the 8th of May. Lisbon, as Enderlin defeated Lisbon by a score of 7-5. The tournament continued on the 12th of May here with games played at the higher seed in that first round. It was number 1 Kindred over number 9 Enderlin by a score of 22-3. Then it was number 4 Sargent County over number 5 Oak Grove by a score of 7-4. And then it was Oaks over number 2 Northern Cass by a score of 7-2. And then it was Center Cass, 25 of the Center Cass big over the Ball Stars there from Hankinson, Fairmont, Kamatilta, Rosso, Lidgerwood by a score of 6-1. Games played yesterday here in Oaks. It was number 1 Kindred over Sargent County by a score of 4-1. Then it was number 3 Center Cass over Oaks by a score of 9-2. And then in those loser-out games, it was Oak Grove big over Enderlin by a score of 22-12, and Northern Cass over the Ball Stars by a score of 8-4. Then games here today, it was number 1 Kindred over Center Cass by a score of 5-3, as Kindred into the championship round, and then Center Cass will come back and they will play on Monday. And then that game just finishing up here with Chase Miller on the call and Joey Hughes on the camera. It was Oak Grove over Oaks by a score of 16-6, and that brings us to today's contest now between Sargent and number 4 Sargent County and number 2 Northern Cass, as Northern Cass, the home team on the scoreboard, as they're looking to put a win in the column and stay in this tournament. Northern Cass losing in that opening round. They were the number 2 seed. They lost to Oaks by a score of 7-2. So looking here to stay in the tournament and improve their position and make it into this next game, as the winner of this game will take on the Oak Grove Grovers here. And looking at your starting pitcher for Northern Cass out here with, let's see, Riker Strawman starting pitching for Northern Cass. So he's on the mound. Starting things out for Northern Cass. Leading off for Sargent County, as Anthony Furter will lead things off for Sargent County, the left fielder. Batting second is Tristan Peterson. And then batting third, Harry Newstill. Cleanup is Braxton Erickson. Then batting fifth is Cole Fury. Batting sixth, Elijah Hansen. Batting seventh, Connor Olson. Batting eighth, Carson Deasley. Batting ninth, Brody Mayer. So that'll bring us up to here with our Norman County Raceway. Our first pitch here coming at approximately 4:43 p.m. as that is your first pitch of this contest with our Norman County Raceway first pitch here for Norman County Raceway. Check the World of Outlaws late models on Tuesday, June 30th and 8th. Tickets now available at normancounty.raceway.com. This is your first pitch brought to you by Norman County Raceway. As Strawman out of the windup, first pitch low for a ball to Anthony Furter. So there is Stroman against Furter. Stroman back into the windup. Furter standing in the box. That's inside for a strike, and behind the plate, just to give you the layout there of the umpires on the field. Behind the plate is Pat Adair. Down the first base line, you have Scott Carblum. And then behind second base is Dave Klunt. Right now he's over down the third base line, but Dave Klunt, you'll see him behind second base also. Those are your umpires. Home plate, Pat Adair, Scott Carblum behind on first. And down the third base line is Dave Klunt. As that pitch is outside, and drawn walk, leadoff walk for the Sargent County Bulldogs is Anthony Furter. So Furter on board to lead things off. Riker Strawman on the mound for Sargent County. So that'll bring up your number 2 hitter, Tristan Peterson, center fielder. Strawman on delivery down the middle for a strike. As he delivered a fastball down the middle for strike one. Your count 0-1 to Tristan Peterson. Run on first, Anthony Furterer. So one out, or I should say no out, one runner on. And the throw, checking the runner now, got him. As Stroman throws out Anthony Furter. Caught Furter a little flat-footed going back to first for the first out. So the put out there on the runner on first base. So that runner gone over there on first. So Anthony Furter retired off of first base. Tristan Peterson there swing and fouls it off for strike 2. Looks like the 1-2 count coming up here to Tristan Peterson. So 1 out, nobody on for Sargent County. Sargent County was able to draw that leadoff walk with Anthony Furter. The pickoff attempt was good by Strauman over to first for the first out. That's high. Sails over the head of the catcher, Cody Wadeson. So Wadeson behind the plate, calling the pitches there for Gus Strauman. Strauman still working out of the windup. No runners on. And the pitch, that's outside. Not able to catch the corner for another ball. So Tristan Peterson not now with a 2-2 count going against Gus Strauman for Northern Cass on the mound. Strauman out of the windup, the pitch, and that's swung on and behind home plate. And they're going to say it was a drop third strike. So I thought he had fouled it off, but that was a drop third strike for the second out. So 2 up, 2 down, as I guess what the call is, as Anthony Furter thrown out off the pickoff attempt, or off the pickoff by Gus Strauman, or should say Riker Strauman, excuse me, on the mound for Northern Cass. So Strauman accounting for 2 outs in this first inning. And that'll bring up the number 3 hitter, Harry Newstall. That first pitch drops in for a strike. So the 0-1 pitch coming from Strauman. Strauman steps off the mound, takes a look around, looks to the outfield, kind of collects himself, now steps back on. And Newstall, left-handed hitter, taking it from the windup, and that's outside for ball 1. So for ball 2. So Strauman with the delivery, and that's going to be swung on. Newstall is going to lift this one into right center, shallow right center, and coming around and picking that up is the center fielder, Parker Anderson. So a base hit for Harry Newstall. So Newstall on first with 2 outs. That'll bring up your cleanup hitter, Braxton Erickson. So Braxton Erickson up with a runner on first. There's 2 outs. So Strauman takes a look there, the left-handed pitcher, takes a look over at first, and the delivery is outside for ball 1 to Braxton Erickson. And Newstall with about a step and a half lead from first there with that left-handed pitcher. Strauman's going to take a look. That swung on, lifted here into center field there, short or shallow center, and the relay back in there from your center fielder, Parker Anderson, to the shortstop. So runners now at first and second with 2 outs. So Erickson with the single. So runners at first and second for Sargent County. And Cole Fury up to bat, the number 5 hitter. And that's across the knees for strike 1, called by Pat Adair behind the plate. So 0-1 count here to Cole Fury. Newstall on second, Erickson on first for Sargent County. And the delivery, this is swung on and gets away for strike 2. So 0-2 count now to Cole Fury. Fury, the number 5 hitter. Runners on first and second with 2 outs. The delivery by Strauman, that's outside for a ball. So looking at ball 1, 1-2 count to Cole Fury. Fury working out of the stretch, delivers it. That swung on, a chopper in front of the home plate. And Strauman goes over, fields it, the throw, and got him in time, and that'll record the 3rd out. So the pitcher, Riker Strauman, accounting for all 3 outs, as that was the 1-3 put out there for Strauman in the Northern Cass Jaguars. As 5 up, 3 outs there for Sargent County, left 2 runners on base. So with, should say, no runs off of 2 hits and no errors with 2 runners left on base for Sargent County, that'll bring up your bottom half of the first inning. Northern Cass due up. That's just ahead on yourlevevent.com.
Hunter Insurance Agency is a locally owned full-service agency providing protection and coverage in a number of different areas. Hunter Insurance Agency offers multi-peril crop insurance, crop hail insurance, and farm insurance for buildings and equipment. Plus, they offer home, auto, life, and business insurance. For more information, go online to hunterinsuranceagency.com or stop in and speak with Johnny Jorgensen at Hunter Insurance Agency. Find them at 201 Main Street, Hunter.
The Kindred Public School District looks to collaboratively cultivate an environment that challenges learners to reach their full potential in a student-centered, community-supported environment while building authentic relationships that promotes active engagement in learning, literacy, and life. Kindred Public Schools' mission is to educate, prepare, and maximize student potential. Kindred Public School District, student-centered, community-supported. For more info about upcoming school events and news, go online to kindred.k12.us.
Hey, welcome back. Yourlevevent.com as we're back for more from Oaks, North Dakota here at Cummings Field as Sargent County in that top half of the first inning, they put 2 runners on base and strand 2 runners on base off of 2 hits. So it brings us here to the bottom of the first inning. As on the mound for the Sargent County Bulldogs is Harry Newstall. Newstall on the season with 2 wins, 2 losses, and 1 save for the Sargent County Bulldogs. As Newstall in this tournament, as we had that pitch breakdown, Newstall with 1 appearance, 64 pitches in this tournament so far for Harry Newstall. So seeing his second appearance today against the Northern Cass Jaguars for the Sargent County Bulldog, Harry Newstall. As due up now for Northern Cass in the bottom half of the first inning, you have Brody Zieski batting second, Brooks Crockett batting third, Chris Hoyland, and batting cleanup will be Cody Wadeson. Zieski on the season batting .327. He has 22 hits on the season for Brody Zieski. Here with the leadoff batter facing Harry Newstall from the Sargent County Bulldogs. Newstall working out of the stretch as that first pitch down and away for ball 1 to Brody Zieski. So the 1-0 count to Zieski. Newstall still working out of the stretch. A lot of times you see these pitchers work out of the windup until they get a runner on base, but Newstall going out of the stretch, and that's in there. Hits the outside corner. Work from outside in on that pitch for the strike. 1 ball, 1 strike there on Brody Zieski of Northern Cass, the leadoff hitter from Northern Cass. As that's about the same spot, located same pitch, same spot for strike 2, the 1-2 count. Now there with Harry Newstall on the mound, working ahead of the batter with the 1-2 count. Leadoff hitter Brody Zieski, and that's going to be high for ball 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes from Newstall to Brody Zieski. As you mentioned, Zieski on the season batting .327 with 22 hits, leading off, and that's going to be hit, lifted, foul, and that's back behind home plate. Back where the cars are parked, so hopefully nobody has any damage there in the back parking lot. As count still 2 balls, 2 strikes there to Brody Zieski. Newstall on the mound, still working out of the stretch, and that swung on a chopper here to the second baseman, fielded over to first, and that's good for an out in time with 1 down. As that is the 4-3 putout there by your second baseman for Sargent County, Jace Feary. So Feary over to Elijah Hansen, account for that first out. That'll bring up Brooks Crockett for Northern Cass batting second. .263 average on the season. Your DH for Northern Cass. As still working out of the stretch is Harry Newstall. Newstall with the big leg kick, and that swung on. That's back right up the middle for a base hit there by your DH, Brooks Crockett. So Crockett aboard with 1 out. As Crockett on board, that'll bring up your number 3 hitter for the Northern Cass. That's Chris Hoyland. Number 3 hitter on the season, batting .564. for Hoyland. So your 564 hitter up, your number 3 hitter, left-handed hitter, Hoyland up at the plate with a runner on first. Brooks Crockett is your runner on first. A big leg kick by Newstall, trying to hit the outside corner, and that falls in for a ball. So 1 ball, no strikes to Chris Hoyland. 1 down. Runner on first base, about a step and a half away from first. Playing it safe over there at first, and that's going to drop in inside for a strike to Chris Hoyland. 1 ball, 1 strike for the right-handed pitcher out there, Harry Newstall. Newstall takes a look over at first. Now with the delivery, and that's going to come outside, swung on for strike 2. 1 ball, 2 strikes there from Newstall to Hoyland. Hoyland steps out of the box, now back in. Taps the plate a couple times. Newstall taking a look over at first. A little bit bigger lead this time by Crockett. Crockett's going, and the throw down, that's going to be off the mark into center field. Crockett's going to think about it. He's going to take an extra base over to third in time, but sliding in is Brooks Crockett with a good heads-up base run and taking a chance with 1 down. Crockett making his way over to third. So now we have a runner on third. That's Brooks Crockett with some high base IQ running there by Brooks Crockett. Gets him over to third with a precision move of this inning, putting himself into better scoring position. Can get to home off a wild pitch, as you have quite a distance between the catcher and the backstop. So setting him up on third base now is Brooks Crockett. Hoyland at the plate, the pitch, and that's inside for a strike. So drops in. And that's going to be fouled off. So Cody Waitson with the 0-2 count. Waitson up at the plate. So Waitson up. Right-handed hitter runner on third, and that's going to go down and away for a ball. So 1 ball, 2 strikes now to Cody Waitson. Waitson on the season batting .286 here in the cleanup spot. Has a runner on third base with 2 down. The delivery, and that's lifted high to left field. Camping under it, having to drop back a few steps, making a good play on the ball as that ball carried for the 3rd out. So the Waitson will fly out to the left fielder. And Northern Cass there in the bottom of the 1st inning, no runs off of 1 hit with no errors and a runner left on base, as that'll do it for the bottom half of the 1st inning. And then the 1st inning complete here from Cummings Field in Oaks, North Dakota. We'll step away. We'll come back for more on yourliveevent.com.
Milner Grain understands that agriculture is your livelihood, and we're committed to providing you with the highest quality of services to meet your farming needs. Milner Grain has a passion for our community and the farmers we serve. Milner Grain is locally owned and operated. When you're looking for a partner in the field, look to Milner Grain. Call 701-427-5284 or check out Milner Grain's app with current up-to-date prices. Milner Grain is here to help you and your farm grow.
Welcome to the 130th Annual Norman County Fair, June 24th through 27th, Ada, Minnesota. FFA Day. New this year, Jindo Bingo, the Big Air ATV show in the R&J Broadcasting Grandstand. Plus free music, basketball challenge, Check 6 Veterans Day, Youth Day, Senior Day, racing, the Mooncats, lumberjack shows, and so much more. For the full schedule, visit NormanCountyFair.com. Norman County Fair, Ada, Minnesota, June 24th through 27th. It's where summer begins and the fun never ends.
Hey, welcome back here at liveevent.com as we're back for more from Oaks, North Dakota, the Cumming Fields, as the Sargent County, or say the Northern Cass Jaguars in the bottom half of the 1st inning, as they left 1 runner on base off of 1 hit and no runs scored. So scoreless here going to the top of the 2nd inning with your Dakota Heritage Bank in-game update. That's what you're currently scoreless up on the DHB scoreboard in the Dakota Heritage Bank update, as both teams in that 1st inning able to get runners on base. Sargent County up in the top half of that 1st inning put 2 runners on base, weren't able to get a run across with 2 hits top of the 1st inning. Northern Cass came back with one runner left on base. And that first pitch here to your leadoff hitter this inning is Elijah Hansen. And Hansen, your number 6 hitter. Here's Strawman with the delivery. That's going to be outside for a ball. As Elijah Hansen, a left-handed hitter, and working out of the windup, and that's going to be inside for another ball. As that one goes inside, gets away, rolls to the backstop. So Strawman works out of the windup. Hansen, left-handed hitter, in the box, waiting for the pitch. Delivery, and that's up over his head as Hansen has to duck out of the way of that for another ball. And I'd say that more than brushed him back away from the plate as Hansen dives out of the box. Here Strawman with the delivery is going to catch that inside. Swung on by Hansen here to the second baseman. Second baseman cleans it up to first for the out on the 4-3 putout on Elijah Hansen, as that'll record the first out of the inning. So Hansen grounds out the second baseman there, Kason Miller. Miller throws it back over to Aiden Dixon for the out. As here's Connor Olson coming up to the plate. Olson, the number 7 hitter. Strawman working fast for out of the windup, and that's going to drop in there for a ball. So the 1-0 count to Connor Olson of the Sargent County Bulldogs. As Olson back in the box, the delivery by Strawman is going to be high for a ball. So the 2-0 count coming from Gus Strawman to Connor Olson. Olson doesn't step out of the box at all. He's ready to go. Brings Strawman on the mound for a pitch, and that's going to catch inside. The ball kind of stayed inside, rolled that inside line, inside corner of the plate for a strike. So 2 balls, 1 strike, 2-1 count here to Connor Olson. 1 down. That swung on a big swing for strike 2. As Riker Strawman has yet to record his first strikeout of the game. Has the 2-2 count now on Connor Olson. Working on the second out. That's going to be down for a strike as the curveball lands for a strikeout. Caught him looking, froze up Connor Olson at the plate, and that'll be your second out of this inning here in the first strikeout for Riker Strawman of Northern Cass. And that'll bring up your number 8 hitter, Carson Diley. Diley takes the first pitch high for ball 1. So the 1-0 count coming here from Strawman. Out of the windup, and the pitch is outside. Oh, catches the outside corner for strike 1. 1 ball, 1 strike. I thought she was going to drift a little further outside, but caught the outside corner for a called strike by home plate umpire Pat Adair. That's going to be same spot, a little bit higher, so that's going to bring a ball. 2 balls, 1 strike there as about the same pitch, just a little bit high. So the 2-1 count here to Carson Daly as Strawman with the delivery. That's going to be swung on. Daly is going to lift this one to second baseman. Going to throw it over for another 4-3 put out. Got him as the first baseman Dixon able to hold on to that ball off the 4-3 put out there as Carson Daly is retired for the 3rd out of the inning. So no runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left on base for the Sargent County Bulldogs there in the top half of the 2nd inning. As we'll come back for more. Due up for the Northern Cass Jaguars will be Kason Miller, Parker Anderson, and Jace Aronson just ahead on yourliveevent.com coming up in that 2nd half of the bottom inning.
The World of Outlaws late models are coming to Norman County Raceway on June 30th, 2026. Infield seating, your chance to meet your favorite National Touring Series drivers, and much, much more. Tickets are available now at ncraceway.com.
Order yours today, and we'll see you June 30th, 2026.
R&J Broadcasting Incorporated is accepting applications for a broadcast sales representative. Applicant should be self-motivated, organized, have ability to communicate clearly, and the desire to help our customer partners grow their business with customer service for their advertising and marketing needs. All experience levels are encouraged to apply. To apply, email your resume to apply@rjbroadcasting.com. R&J Broadcasting Incorporated is an equal opportunity employer.
All right, welcome back here at 11.com as we're back for that bottom half of the second inning. Due up Northern Cass. Kaysen Miller, Newstill still on the mound for Northern Cass, and that first pitch catches outside for a ball there on Kaysen Miller. Miller on the season batting .308 for Northern Cass. As Newstill working fast out of the stretch. This is swung on, lifts it high, and that's going to be foul down the first base line. As 1 ball, 1 strike on the count there from Kaysen Miller. Or I should say from Newstill, Harry Newstill to Kaysen Miller. As Newstill, a right-handed pitcher, Miller steps back into the box. Newstill, a big leg kick, the delivery. That's going to go outside for another ball. 2 balls, 1 strike is the count. As the bottom half of the first inning, it was Northern Cass put a runner on base there with a single by Brooks Crockett. He was able to get over to first eventually, or say from first to third after a stolen base, and then the ball going into center field. Heads up base running there by Brooks Crockett got him over to third base, but not able to get that run across. As Miller, 2-2 count, that swung on. Going to go here to the shortstop who cleans it up over to first, not in time, and he's safe as the hustle by Kaysen Miller gets him on base as a running hard to first base and running out that throw by the shortstop over there, Colfieri. So 1 runner on now. The leadoff runner there, Kaysen Miller in this inning for Northern Cass on board. As that'll bring up Parker Anderson. Anderson on the season hitting .267. So here's Parker Anderson going up against Terry Newstill. A little bit of a lead over there by Kaysen Miller checking the runner as Newstill. As Anderson dives back safely into first base. Newstill steps back on, takes a look at the runner. Coming set in the pitch, and that's looks like ball 1. So ball 1 there to Parker Anderson. As Miller taking an extra step now, and Miller's going to get that secondary. There's a bunt put down, and that's to the pitcher who gets the out. So Newstill fields it off the mound, just off to the first base side of the mound. Newstill comes up, fields it, puts the runner out there, Parker Anderson, but that'll put the runner in scoring position, Kaysen Miller, with 1 out. So the 1-3 put out there on Parker Anderson off the fielder's choice, as Kaysen Miller will advance to second. That'll bring up Jace Aronson, 208 on the season batting, as a big lead over there off the secondary lead by Miller, and that pitch was outside. Good save by the catcher for the Sargent County Bulldogs for ball 1 there on Jace Aronson. Big leg kick by Newstill, drops in there. So base runner on there, Kaysen Miller over to second. As that ball going to catch outside for a strike. So 1 ball, 2 strikes there to Jace Aronson. On the 1-2 count from Harry Newstill, working quickly out of the stretch. Newstill back in, comes set. Big lead over there on second. And that's going to be swung on, foul back behind home plate. Almost up into the crow's nest, but she just cleared the top of the roof, or the edge of the roof there, and saved the camera. As now 2 balls, 2 strikes there to Aronson. The pitch by Newstill is going to catch him looking. Another curveball on the outside corner. Catches the corner as a strikeout. 2 in the game now for Harry Newstill for the second out of the inning. And 2 strikeouts in the game for Harry Newstill. As Kaysen Miller still on second, the leadoff hitter in this inning for Northern Cass, made his way over to second. As that'll bring up Riker Strom, the pitcher, and that's going to be outside. Stolen base as no throw. So that'll take Kaysen Miller into third base. So Miller making his way around the bases. As Miller with the hustle down to first base off of that infield hit. Made his way safely into first base. Now around to third off the pitch. That's going to be inside. So Riker Strauman's going to take that inside for a ball. Left-handed hitter here for Riker Strauman, runner on third with 2 down. The big leg kick by Newstall outside, wild pitch, or should say off the glove. No wild pitch as the catcher able to knock that down for another ball there to Riker Strauman. So Newstall now taking his time, is going to step back on. Takes a quick look over to third with the big leg kick on the delivery, swung on. First strike 2, so 2 balls, 2 strikes there to Riker Strauman. As Newstall in the game now with 2 strikeouts, recorded a strikeout against Chris Hoyland in the first inning, and then against Jace Aronson. And that's going to be swung on for strike 3, so another strikeout here. 2 in a row now for Harry Newstall. As for the Northern Cass Jaguars in this inning, they had no runs off of 1 hit and no errors with a runner left on base. As that'll bring us into the top half now of the third inning. And due up now for the Sargent County Bulldogs in their lineup. That'll bring the bottom of the order up to lead things off here in the top half of the third inning, and that's what would be Brody Meir, Anthony Fritterer, followed by Tristan Peterson. So we'll come back for more here from Cummings Field in Oaks, North Dakota on yourliveevent.com.
Take your softball or baseball skills to the next level with personalized instruction from the professional staff at the Ball Yard. Their mission is to provide area players, young and old, the opportunity to improve their skills in a professional level facility and to provide a high level of instruction to youth players to help them achieve their goals at the Ball Yard. Come and visit the one place in the Fargo-Moorhead area where it's always summer. For more information, go online to fmballyard.com. That's fmballyard.com.
What was that? Is that top insurance?
No, I'm pretty sure it's Toop Insurance.
Maybe Toupee.
Could be Toupee. Yeah, I don't know.
Or Taupe Insurance?
Maybe? I don't think so.
Say it right. That's T-O-O-P. That's Taupe.
Oh, it's Taupe.
That's Taupe Insurance in Castleton. Get in touch with Ryan today for a quote or review of your policies.
All right, welcome back here at liveevent.com as we're back for that top half of the third inning. Leading things off for the Sargent County Bulldogs will be your designated hitter, Brody Meir, followed by Anthony Fritterer, back to the top of the order, and then Tristan Peterson. On the mound there, Riker Strauman for the Northern Cass Jaguars. With 2 innings pitched, he's given up 2 hits, and with 2 strikeouts, 1 base on balls there for Riker Strauman. Still on the mound for Northern Cass with 33 total pitches in the game, as he's facing off here against the number 9 hitter, the designated hitter, Brody Meir. And that first pitch down in the dirt for ball 1. So top here of the third inning. Meir leading things off, the DH for Sargent County. The 1-0 count. Strauman working out of the windup. And the delivery for the left-handed pitcher at the feet inside for ball 2. So the 2-0 count there on Brody Meir as the Sargent County Bulldogs with 2 hits in the game. And that's going to be fired outside for another ball. So the 3-0 count on the number 9 hitter. Brody Meir looking for the walk, more than likely taking this pitch there as the kind of pregame instructions from your coach is you got 3-0 count, don't swing the bat. And 3-0 delivery, and that's going to catch outside for a strike. So 3 balls, 1 strike. They're off the fastball outside corner. And now Strauman working in. That's going to be high for ball 4 as the leadoff walk is aboard there to number 9 hitter Brody Meir for the Sargent County Bulldogs. So Meir go down to the first baseline and stand on first base for his walk, as that'll bring back up to top of the order with your left fielder Anthony Fritterer up, as he's taking a look down the third base line to Coach Randy Searstead. And Fritterer steps into the box. Big lead here Off of first, the bunt's down there to the third base side. That's going to advance the runner. The throw to first, not in time, as the run there in the hustle by Anthony Furter. So now two players on board off of the bunt by Anthony Furter, laid down, executed perfectly, as that'll advance the runner now to second. That's Brody Mayer on second. Furter is on first with nobody out here for Sargent County. Runner in scoring position there is Brody Mayer on second, and that'll bring up Tristan Peterson, the number 2 hitter. That's going to drop in on the delivery from Strawman for strike one on Tristan Peterson. So Peterson here looking to swing the bat off of Strawman. That's going to catch outside there, drops in for a ball. So 1 ball, 1 strike to Tristan Peterson with runners on first and second for Sargent County, nobody out. One of the men you want up at the plate there is Tristan Peterson's going to swing on that chopper, and that's going to get through by the shortstop. The runner's going to come around. No, he's going to round. He holds it up, puts the brakes on there. Was Brody Mayer, as Mayer was thinking about coming home, and Coach Randy Searstead holds him up over at third, as you could hear the brakes squealing over at third base. And Mayer now with runners off of the base hit there by Tristan Peterson. So two singles here in the game, or in this inning. Now 4 hits in the game for Sargent County, as they now have runners with the bases juiced, and that'll bring up Harry Newstall. So Harry Newstall, your number 3 hitter, and dangerous at the plate here with the left-handed hitter. Or, excuse me. So ball 1 there on Harry Newstall with bases loaded, nobody out. As the left-handy there, Strawman with the pitch, that's going to catch outside, but it is a ball. As just a little bit low and outside. They're on the 2-0 count now to Harry Newstall. As the big leg kick by Strawman goes back to the outside. He's pitching away from Harry Newstall, but that's going to draw another ball. So base is loaded. Strawman there taking his time. On delivery is going to be high for ball 4, so that'll walk in a run, as we have a score update up on the DH Board scoreboard update now, as it's a 1-0 lead for Sargent County with nobody out. That's going to bring Carson Daly across, or excuse me, going to bring Brody Mayer across off of the walk. As Sargent County will take the lead now 1-0, and runners advancing off of the walk, as looks like we're going to have a break coming up here with a pitching change coming up for Northern Castle. That'll retire Strawman here in the 3rd inning. So nobody out. Base is still loaded. 1 across for Sargent County. As we're going to go and step away. We'll come back for more on yourliveevent.com.
Stop on out to Watts Ace Hardware in Castleton and gear up with name brands from Steel, Milwaukee, Ego, and Craftsman Power Tools. Get ahead of your spring planting needs with flowers, shrubs, and trees. Watts Ace Hardware Greenhouse is open now. Watts Ace Hardware, a place you need to check out. Stop in at 1610 Governor's Drive in Castleton for Watts Ace Hardware and check out their greenhouse, which is open right now.
From on-site farm repairs to maintaining the condition of your vehicle, trust the staff at Welton's Tire Service. They've served the Lisbon area since 1972, guaranteeing customer satisfaction and workmanship from farm equipment, tire services, and preventative vehicle maintenance. You'll find it all from affordable prices, free estimates, to their knowledgeable technicians answering any question. Welton's Tire Service is locally owned and located on Main Street in Lisbon. For information, go online to weltonstire.net or call 701-683-5136.
All right, welcome back here at liveevent.com. As we're back after the pitching change for the Northern Cass Jaguars, as Northern Cass will bring in Chris Hoyland. So Hoyland coming in to pitch, just looking over Gus Drummond to close him out here with 2 innings pitched in this game. He gave up 4 hits, one earned, or I should say 1 run, and that run being earned, as Hoyland is still on the hook for 3 more runners that are on base with nobody out. Hoyland, and big swing there by Braxton Erickson. As Braxton Erickson, the cleanup hitter in that first inning with a single, making his way to first base in the first inning for Sargent County. So 1-1 in the game, and that's going to catch for a high for ball 1. So 1 ball, 1 strike over there to Braxton Erickson. With bases loaded, 1 run across in this inning for Sargent County as they lead by a score of 1-0. Hoyland on the mound with the pitch, and that's going to be lifted up, followed back behind home plate for strike 2 on Braxton Erickson. As your count now to Erickson with the 1 ball, 2 strikes, or I should say Hoyland takes a look in here with the right-handed pitcher as he's working out of the stretch with bases loaded, nobody out. That's going to be swung on, and that's fouled back down the first base line. So still 1-2 count with 3 runners on. With 3 runners on, or I should say with runners and bases loaded. And so here's Braxton Erickson. And that's going to drop in, and no, I think that was a ball. So looking at the 2-2 count as Pat Adair took a long look at that one. And Adair behind home plate, the umpire behind home plate. As Hoyland with the pitch, that's going to be swung on and strikes him out. So Hoyland coming in, recording the first out of the inning and the strikeout on Braxton Erickson. Erickson now in the game 1-2 with that single in the first inning. That'll bring up Cole Fury. Fury in the first inning with the ground out to the pitcher on the 1-3 putout. So that'll bring up Cole Fury here in the top half of the 3rd inning. Sargent County still leads with 1 down. That's going to be swing and a miss. Big swing and a miss there, Cole Fury. As that ball, the bottom just started dropping out of it. It was skidding along about knee highs and then dropped out. And Fury took a big swing at it for strike 1. There with Hoyland on the mound, the leg kick. As he's going to kind of slide step down, a little faster delivery there by Hoyland. And that's going to be down and away for ball 1. 1 ball, 1 strike there to Braxton Erickson. Hoyland with the delivery, same pitch. That's going to catch low again for ball 2. So 2 balls, 1 strike now to Cole Fury. As in this inning, Sargent County with singles by Anthony Fritter and Tristan Peterson. And that's going to be strike 3 as Fury punched out for the 3rd strike. And 2 strikeouts here for Hoyland coming in the game as he's going to record 2 outs in this inning, both by strikeout. Previously here for Sargent County, as Brody Mayer was the leadoff batter in this inning, he drew a walk. That was followed up by singles by Fritter and Peterson. And then another walk driving in the run was Harry Newstall. And that first pitch to Elijah Hansen is in for strike 1. So the 0-1 count there on the delivery by Hoyland. Left-handed hitter's going to follow this one back. There is Elijah Hansen. As that'll bring the 0-2 count. Hansen in that 2nd inning with a ground out to the second baseman for the 4-3 putout. As that'll be an 0-2 count now to Hansen. 2 outs now, runners, bases loaded. And that's going to be low for ball 1. And Sargent County able to load up the bases. They did walk in a run, and they lead now by a score up on the DHB scoreboard by a score of 1-0. With 2 outs, that's going to be swung on, kind of a check swing down the 3rd base line, but that's going to go foul as that ball fouled off down the back behind 3rd base. This is going to be swung on, lifted here to center fielder, drifting over and making the catch for the 3rd out off of the F8 there to center fielder. So for Sargent County in that inning, they have 1 run off of 2 hits. And no errors by Northern Cass with 3 runners left on base. So that'll do it there for the bottom, or I should say for the top half of the 3rd inning for Northern Cass. Your new score is Sargent County 1, Northern Cass 0. Bring up bottom half of the 3rd inning for the Northern Cass Jaguars. Due up for Northern Cass will be Isaac Idso, your number 9 hitter, followed by back to the top of the order with Brody Ziski and Brooks Crockett. So that's just ahead on yourliveevent.com.
Stay up to date all year long with your live event from our social platforms with X, Facebook, and YouTube. From the latest coaches show to watch game broadcasts back on demand from earlier in the season. Search your live event on YouTube and hit subscribe.
Outside the 3-point arc. Pick and pop here with Spaeth into the left side corner. 3, good.
For the complete and most up-to-date schedule throughout the year, head to our website at yourliveevent.com.
Great Plains Fireworks and Sports Collectibles, Hillsboro. Fireworks and sports stuff in the same store? That's right. Great Plains Fireworks and Sports Collectibles, Hillsboro. Come in and browse the sports cards and memorabilia and fireworks at the same time. Unopened packs and boxes of sports cards, plus pre-owned cards as well. Jersey, swatch, autograph cards, lots of Twins, Vikings, Wolves, Wild, Lynx, and North Stars memorabilia, bobbleheads, caps, and more. Call anytime, 701-436-6140. Great Plains Fireworks and Sports Collectibles, Hillsboro.
All right, welcome back here at liveevent.com as we're back for more from Cummings Field here in Oaks, North Dakota, as Sargent County takes the lead now by a score of 1-0, as in that top half of the 3rd inning, they were able to walk a run across for that 1-0 lead, and that'll bring us here to the bottom half of the 3rd inning for the Northern Cass Jaguars. Due up for the Jaguars, the bottom of the order, batting number 9 is Isaac Idsole, followed by top of the order Brody Ziski and Brooks Crockett, and going in here for the Sargent County Bulldogs on the mound here at the pitching change, as you have on the mound for Sargent County is Elijah Hansen, as looking in the game, in the game for Hansen. Hansen with his 2nd appearance, he can have 3 appearances total in this tournament, as Hansen here with his third appearance here, I should say 3rd and final appearance for the Sargent County Bulldogs. So looking for Harry Newstall with 2 innings pitched, as he gave up no runs, and he gave up no runs in those 2 innings pitched, with 33 pitches total there for Harry Newstall. That'll close things out for Newstall so far in this game, as that first pitch was swung on for strike 1, and Hansen there with another swing and a miss. There it is, so the number 9 hitter, as Hansen here working out of the stretch, going to throw that one in there for ball 1. 1 ball, 2 strikes there on Isaac Idso, as we're here bottom of the 3rd inning, no outs. Leadoff hitter Isaac Idso, that's going to drop in, called strike 3 with the first strikeout of the game, as that'll be the first strikeout of the game there for Hansen. So Hansen in Sargent County with their first out of this bottom half of the 3rd inning. That'll bring back top of the order Brody Ziski for Northern Cass. Ziski on the season batting .327, 22 hits on the season for Ziski. In that first inning, he grounded out to the second baseman on the 4-3 putout for that first out of the first inning. And the pitch from Hansen, this will be swung on. This is down the first base line, goes foul, as long strike 1 there for Brody Ziski here in the bottom half of the 3rd inning. So Hansen steps back on the mound, working out of the windup with 1 down. Here, top of the order, Brody Zeski, and that's going to be swung on back to the pitcher. Gets by the pitcher to the shortstop, cleans it up. Newstall's going to throw, fires off the mark, pass ball, and not able to advance there. Putting on the brakes and coming back there is Brody Zeski. So give him a single. So that was the Zeski's going to go ahead and more than likely get a single off of that, as Newstol's throw was wide to the home plate side. So Zeski's going to hold up at first with one down. So runner on now for Northern Cass as that's going to be swung on. Gets by the pitcher again. The fielder's choice over to first. Gets him in time for the out. They're called by the first base umpire, Scott Carblom. So off the fielder's choice, Brooks Crockett. And that'll advance the runner to second, but that'll record the second out of the inning there. Crockett with the swing cleaned up by Newstol. So Newstol now at shortstop as that'll bring up your number 3 hitter, Chris Hoyland. Hoyland back in the first inning with a strikeout. So 0 for 1 on the day with a strikeout there as left-handed pitcher Hansen delivers that outside for ball 1. So the 1-0 count now to Chris Hoyland. Hoyland here with a runner on second, runner in scoring position for Hoyland. Left-handed hitter is going to bounce away from the catcher, and that'll advance the runner over to third off the pass ball. So that'll move the runner over now to third base. And Ziske getting on board with a single. Call that a single unless scored otherwise. Yes, that's going to bring up the 2-0 count from Hansen. That's going to be a shot here to center fielder, and that's going to bring the run across. So we're tied up here with the new score on the scoreboard, on the DHB scoreboard, as we're tied up now at 1 apiece, 1-1, with the run driven in, the RBI driven in by Chris Hoyland. And that runner there, Brody Ziske, is going to come around to score for the first run of the game for the Northern Cass Jaguars. So all tied up, 2 down. And that'll bring up Cody Wadeson, the catcher. Wadeson on the season batting .286. Now with a runner on first is Chris Hoyland. So here's Hansen. Takes a look over at first, left-handed pitcher, and that's going to be a throwdown and just off the base. And a little bit short there as the snap throw from the catcher down to the first baseman. And runner Hoyland back in time. So Hansen back on the mound, takes a look over at first. A delivery that's going to be in the dirt, blocked, and keeping it in front of him. Here's the throw down to second, not in time. Gets into center fielder as Hoyland's going to take off for third. The ball's there, and that's going to bounce wide. Hoyland thought about it. The catcher doing a good job, or should say the pitcher there, Hansen, doing a good job as he backed up that throw, saving a run. As Hoyland looked like he was going to go off to the races and head for home, but that was cleaned up as Hansen was there to police that throw up from the center fielder. So we do have a runner on third now with Chris Hoyland making his way around third base off the errant throws by Sargent County. And here's Wadeson. Wadeson's going to hit this one liner directly to the, should say a high chopper to the third baseman, and that's policed up for the third out of the inning there as Cody Wadeson put out there off the hard chopper. So the 5-3 put out records the third out of the inning, but Northern Cass here coming up with a run in this bottom of the third inning as Brody Ziske across for the 1-1 tie, and that'll bring up the Sargent County Bulldogs here in the top half of the fourth inning. As due up for Sargent County in that top half of the fourth inning will be Connor Olson, Carson Dealey, followed by Brody Mayer. So that's just ahead on yourlevevent.com.
Halsted Telephone Company delivers fast broadband internet, telephone, and cable TV to residents in this region, including Halsted, Shelley, Neilsville, Climax, Fisher, Bigland, Gentilly in Minnesota, and Hillsborough, Caledonia, Gardner, and Argusville, North Dakota. Serving the area residents since 1904, Halsted Telephone continues to create a bright future for this region using 100% fiber optic technology. Service plans offer flexibility and choices, and there's local support personnel ready to help. Contact Halsted Telephone Company today.
Hey, welcome back here, LiveEvent.com, as we're back here from Cummings Field in Oaks, North Dakota, as we're heading here into the top half of the fourth inning here, broadcasting from that David Bergenman Agency Farmers Union Insurance broadcast booth out in center field as your headquarters for home, auto, life, farm and ranch, business, crop, and health. Not all products underwritten by Farmers Union Insurance. Call 701-724-6252. That's your David Bergenman Agency Farmers Union Insurance broadcast booth here from Oaks, North Dakota. Been broadcasting the last 2 days, or should say the past 2 days here of the Region 1 boys baseball tournament. Chase Miller with your first 6 games, going 6-0 on the tournament so far, as he brought myself here in for relief, and then our cameraman here with Joey Hughes been here for all games so far down here in Oaks, North Dakota, as Joey keeping things running here for Chase and I so far, doing a great job. As we're going to go here to the top half of the 4th inning, as we have the Sargent County Bulldogs due up, and it looks like in the game, I think that's Parker Anderson out on the mound. So looks like Parker Anderson coming in now for the Northern Cass Jaguars for pitching. So Hoyland, after coming in and setting down the Sargent County Bulldogs, as he's going to record 2 strikeouts for Hoyland in the game, and also recording the 3rd out with that fly out here to the center fielder. So looks like Hoyland done so far in this game, as he's going to get with the 1 inning pitched, recording those 3 outs with 2 strikeouts there in that 3rd inning and that top half of the 3rd inning. So new pitcher in the game now, as that'll bring in number 7, Parker Anderson. So Parker Anderson on the mound here, top half of the 4th inning for the Northern Cass Jaguars. So Anderson coming in to lead things off here in the top half of the 4th, or I should say top half of the 4th inning. Leading things off for the Sargent County Bulldogs in this top half of the 4th inning will be leading things off. Just got to find my sheet, as that'll be Connor Olson. So Connor Olson leading things off, hitting for Sargent County. And that's going to fall in there for the 1-0 count. As Anderson on the mound for Northern Cass with the leg kick. The left-handed pitcher is going to put that one down low in the dirt for ball 2. The 2-0 count from Anderson to Connor Olson. Anderson with a little kind of a high leg kick, but pretty quick off the delivery. As that's going to be the 2-0 count now to Connor Olson. And that's thrown in there. Hits the outside corner for strike 1 now with 2 balls and 1 strike. And I was looking for that Dakota Heritage Bank, that in-game update, as Sargent County in the game with that 1 run walked in that 3rd inning. As in the 3rd inning, Sargent County with 2 base hits and 2 walks for the 1, counting for the 1 run. Also with 2 strikeouts there, as Hoyland came in to clean things up for Northern Cass, striking out 2 Sargent County batters, and then getting that 3rd out there for Chris Hoyland and Northern Cass Jaguars. As back here with Connor Olson. Olson with the swing and the miss. 2 balls, 2 strikes on the delivery. That's going to be inside, and it's going to walk him. A 3-2 count, as Olson draws the walk, and he makes his way down to first base there for Connor Olson. Olson, previously in that 2nd inning, he had struck out, so now officially 0 for 1 with 1 strikeout and a walk for Connor Olson. That'll bring up Carson Daly. Daly in the in the 2nd inning with the ground out, the 4-3 put out there on Carson Daly in that 2nd inning. So his 2nd time around, 0 for 1 for Daly, and that's going to be outside for ball 1. So high and outside for ball 1 there on Carson Daly. New pitcher in the game is Anderson for the Northern Cass Jaguars, as he walks his first batter there. That was Connor Olson. Olson on first base, nobody out for Sargent County. The leg kick and the delivery, and that's going to drop in for strike 1 on Carson Daly, as 1 ball, 1 strike. Left-handed pitcher out there in Anderson, as he takes a look over there at first base. Connor Olson of the Bulldogs, and the delivery, and this was going to be high and outside for ball 2. So the 2-1 count there to Carson Daly. As Olson getting on board here in the top half of 4th inning with a walk. And the 2-1 count, and taking his time on the mound there is Anderson, and he's going to deliver that in for a swinging strike. Big swing there by Carson Daly for 2 balls, 2 strikes. As the 2-2 count, as Daly opening up his stance a little bit. That lead foot pointed there to left field, and that's going to be high and outside for ball 3. So the 3-2 count loads the count up. Nobody out, runner on first base is Connor Olson for Sargent County. Daly in that first, or I should say in the second inning with the ground out, 0 for 1 in this game. Anderson with 11 pitches so far in this inning. He's going to throw that one down the middle, swinging, big strikeout for Carson Daly as he delivered that pitch straight down the middle. Not able to catch up with it was Carson Daly. So good job there by Anderson recording that strikeout. And the first out of the inning with the runner on first, giving up that leadoff walk to Connor Olson. And that'll bring up your number 9 hitter, Brody Mayer, the designated hitter. So Mayer in the third inning with a walk as he led things off in that third inning. And that'll be a check the run over at first, and getting back or diving back in time is Connor Olson off of the pickoff attempt. So that'll be just keeping that runner honest, or the big check on the runner there at first, just keeping him on close to first base. There by that big swing and a miss by Brody Mayer for the first strike of the at-bat. So Brody Mayer, the DH, with the 0-1 count, is going to step back in, taps the plate. Connor Olson with about the 2-step lead off of first base. See what his secondary, and he's going to take a couple hops. That swung on by Mayer for the 0-2 count. So fouled back behind home plate. We have the 0-2 count. The catcher is going to come out. He's going to take a quick chat there with the pitcher. So your catcher waits and coming out having a conference at the front of the pitcher's mound with your pitcher Anderson. As Anderson steps back on, working out of the stretch as he has the 0-2 count on Brody Mayer. And the leg kick delivery is going to be swung on, fouled off. Battling up there, Brody Mayer. He's had a couple falls and making contact, I should say, with the ball, just not able to get it out in front of home plate. So still battling up there is Brody Mayer with the 0-2 count. As Anderson, take a look over at first. That's Connor Olson over there with 1 out. That's going to be swung on. Chopper here to the shortstop. See if he can turn it to second for 1. Sliding in. It was Olson. Olson doing a good job there, not allowing Northern Cass to turn that double play. So that'll be Olson out at second. And reaching first is Brody Mayer on the fielder's choice. So Mayer on base, or I should say on first base. That'll bring back around the top of the order here with Anthony Furter. Anthony Furter in the game with 2 singles in the game there for Anthony Furter. Furter 2 for 3 in the game. That's going to be high for ball 1, high and outside for ball 1 here in this at bat, top of the 4th inning there for Furter. So runner over at first, and that's going to be thrown in the dirt for ball 2. Runner over at first now is Brody Mayer, as Connor Olson was thrown out there off the fielder's choice. As Olson was the leadoff walk, he records the second out of the inning. A strikeout there by Carson Daly in this inning for those 2 outs there by Sargent County. As Anthony Furter up at the plate, and that's going to be outside for another ball. I think that's a 3-0 count. So it looks like the 3-0 count here to Furter. As Anderson takes a look over at first. The delivery is going to catch it inside there for a strike. So the 3-1 count off the delivery. And that's going to be 3-1. Furter standing in the box as Anderson continues to work out of the stretch. Takes a look, quick look over at first. Little leg kick, and that's swung on for strike 2. The 3-2 count, full count there with 2 down. Here the top half of the 4th inning. As the pitch and swung on again for strike 3. And that's a second strikeout of the game and of this inning for Anderson, as Anderson with 2 strikeouts, as Sargent County sends 4 up. They record 3 outs, and for Sargent County, they have no runs off of no hits and no errors by Northern Cass, with 1 runner left on base for the Sargent County Bulldogs. So that'll do it there for the top half of the 4th inning. We'll come back for Northern Cass. Due up for Northern Cass here, bottom half of this 4th inning will be Kason Miller, Parker Anderson, and Jace Aronson. That's just ahead on yourlevevent.com.
At Abra Auto Body and Glass in Grand Forks, they make sure your vehicle gets the best standard of care to get it back on the road as quickly as possible. Lonnie and his team are some of the most highly trained in the industry. With state-of-the-art technology and superior products, your vehicle will leave in great condition. With their drive-in claims area, the process is smooth and easy. Let Abra Auto Body and Glass in Grand Forks provide you and your vehicle with premium care and attention. Open 8 to 5:30 Monday through Friday. Abra Auto Body and Glass of Grand Forks.
This is Chris from Agassiz Precision Ag, your local precision planting dealer. Say thank you to the farmers you come into contact with every day. They have chosen a career that is as much their deep passion as it is an absolute necessity for you and I. Spring is upon us, and there will be farm equipment on the roads. Give them your patience and room to do their jobs. Trust me, they would rather be off the road working in their field than dealing with traffic. From all of us here at Agassiz Precision Ag, we say thank you and have a safe spring.
All right, welcome back here. yourlevevent.com as we're back for this bottom half of the 4th inning, as it looks like Hansen will stay out there for the Sargent County Bulldogs. On the mound, Elijah Hansen, as a left-handed pitcher. He's going to face off against Kason Miller, and Miller lays down a bunt here. Pitcher third base side, fielded by Hansen. He rocket fires it over to first base for the out, as that was a great pitcher fielding practice, or a PFP play there by your pitcher, Elijah Hansen, as he comes up with that first out for the 1-3 put out there, as that'll bring up Parker Anderson, as Parker Anderson grounded out in the 2nd inning. So 1 down, 1 away here in the 1st inning. That's going to drop in for strike 1, as Hansen kind of feeling his oats there, a little confidence builder, as he rifled that throw over to first base for recording that out off the bunt by Kason Miller, as that pitch is swung on here, third base side. It's going to go foul. And picking it up over there is the head coach, Northern Cass Jaguars, Lucas Bush, doing the fielding over there off the fence. Played the rebound, as Anderson there, 1 ball, 1 strike. That's going to be in there. Strike 2 is going to punch him out. Excuse me, the 2-1 count. And that's going to strike him out. Outside corner of the plate there by Hansen. And that'll be Hansen's 2nd strikeout of the game. So Hansen on the mound here, facing off against Aronson. So that's going to drop in for the 1-0 count there to Jace Aronson. Aronson struck out in the 2nd inning, as Hansen going to work on the mound with that strikeout. Going to catch the outside corner for 1 ball, 1 strike. As Hansen accounting for both outs this inning off the nice play off the bunt, third base side for the first out, and then hits strikeout on Anderson for the 2nd, recording that 2nd out. This pitch is going to be high, curveball, dropping in outside for ball 2. 2 balls, 1 strike to Jace Aronson. So that is Hansen on the mound, working out of the windup. And the pitch hits inside. Nice. Came back, worked inside, then hit across the center part of the plate for strike 2. Not much you could do with that pitch. Froze up your batter, Jace Aronson, as Hansen still working out of the windup. The 2-2 count. And that's going to be pitched outside for ball 3. So full count now, 3-2 count there to Jace Aronson. So Hansen walking around, kicks the dirt a little bit, steps back on, working out of the windup, has 2 down with 1 strikeout this inning, and that's going to be called ball 4, as it must have been a little bit high and coming across the top of the letters, as that looked like a dang good pitch here from out here in center field, but I'm not behind the plate. So that's going to draw a walk, and the runner aboard there is Jace Aronson off first base. Giving him a walk is Hansen. So Hansen will give up the walk with the runner on first, 2 down. That'll bring up left-handed hitter here. And your starting pitcher was Riker Strowman. Strowman, first time up, struck out. So that'll drop in there. With a runner on first, drawing the walk was Jace Aronson. So Strowman up. And now working out of the stretch, walking around a little bit on the mound, trying to collect himself after making a great play there off the leadoff hitter, Casey Miller. Fake bunt, or I should say the bunt pulled back here with 2 down. Yeah, it's kind of a snap throw attempt there by the catcher, and nothing going as he just throws it back to the pitcher. So here's Strowman. Steps back in, runner on first. Over there is Jace Aronson, and that's going to be thrown down the middle for strike. He has 2 balls, 1 strike now to Riker Strowman. So the 2-1 count, Hansen kind of slowing down his pace a little bit. As runner on first, he's going to throw it over there, check the runner, not in time. And diving safely back is Jace Aronson. So with the 2-1 count, working out of the stretch and the pitch, and that's inside. Check swing, and that'll be ball 3. 3-1 count now to Jace Aronson. Riker Strowman. Aronson's over on first. A big lead over there by Jace Aronson, and that's going to look like that's hit by pitch as that goes off the top of the helmet of Riker Strowman, not able to duck out of the way. So we got a hit by pitch with 2 down. Now runners on first and second as Northern Cass looking here to try to get that 2-out rally going. As that'll bring up your number 9 hitter, Isaac Idso. Idso striking out in the 3rd inning as looks like he was the leadoff hitter there in that 3rd inning, striking out. So runners on first and second, big lead over there by Jace Aronson. That swung on for strike 1 by Idso. So the 0-1 count, runners on first and second, 2 down for Northern Cass. As Hansen's going to take a look at first, then second. Swung on, foul back behind home plate. As that's strike 2, the 0-2 count. As Hansen looking to record another strikeout. He has 1 so far this inning, 2 in the game. There for Hansen. And that's going to be hit by pitch again. So back-to-back hit by pitches for Hansen. And he's going to load the bases up now as Jace Aronson goes to 3rd. Riker Strowman to 2nd. And Isaac Idso putting that number 9 batter on board. So bad things happen, bad juju happening when you put that number 9 batter on. And with 2 down, you got bases loaded. And that looks like we're going to have a conference at the mound there as Coach Randy Searstead coming out to talk things over there with his players. So we're going to step away for a quick 30-second timeout, and we'll come back for more here on YourLiveEvent.com.
Farming today doesn't always feel the same way it used to. Then again, some of it feels all the same. Maybe it isn't so much the jobs that changed, but how they get done. Now that's a different story. Everything got bigger and smaller at the same time. Insurance, accounting, and taxes can get complicated, so you need someone who's looking to keep every dollar possible in your pocket. Ag Country.
All right, welcome back here at YourLiveEvent.com. Conference on the mound, no pitching change, as that's going to bring up your leadoff hitter now, Brody Zeski. Zeski in that 1st inning with the ground out for the 1st out of the game, and then a single here back in the 3rd inning. Also scoring a run there is Brody Zeski, as that first pitch dropped in there for a ball. As we have bases loaded with 2 outs. 2-0 count now to Brody Zeski of Northern Cass, their leadoff hitter, number 1 hitter in the order. Batting .327 on the season with 22 hits. He's one of the guys you want up at the plate in this situation. Looking for that big 2-out rally. Bases loaded. That pitch drops in across the knees for strike 1. So 2 balls and 1 strike. as Zeski officially in the game, 1 for 2. He has the 2-1 count. That's going to be swung on. Chopper here to the third base side. Fielded, thrown over to first, and not in time. The run will score, and the runner safe at first as Northern Cass now with the 2-1 lead in the game, and that'll bring the run across there as Jace Aronson crosses the plate as he drew the walk with 2 outs. So Aronson across now with the base hit by Zeski as he was able to beat out the throw from Newstall. I should say that was fielded by the shortstop, Harry Newstall. So that'll bring up Brooks Crockett. And that'll be a strike across the plate there for a strike. Crockett in the game, 1 for 2. He had a single back in the first inning. And then recorded that second out in the third off a fielder's choice. So making contact there is Brooks Crockett. This is going to be swung on, and that's going to go to the right fielder and hauled in there. And flying out to the right fielder there was Brooks Crockett. But Northern Cass here in the bottom half of the 4th inning, they're going to have a new score update as they put 1 run across, scoring Jace Aronson. So your new score and taking the lead now, Northern Cass is ahead. 2-1 heading into the top of the 5th inning, due up for the Sargent County Bulldogs. And the top half of the 1st inning will be Tristan Peterson, Harry Newstall, and Braxton Erickson. So 2, 3, and 4 batters coming up for Sargent County. That's just ahead on yourliveevent.com.
Treat yourself to a great career at American Crystal Sugar Company. Team up with quality people making quality products. Full-time and year-round in a stable business. With great pay and benefits including time off available from day one. American Crystal Sugar Company invests in you to promote your continued growth and career advancement. Grow your career, doing your best work within the world's best beet sugar company. Apply online today at AmericanCrystalCareers.com.
At Bank North, we strive to enrich the lives of everyone we serve. One transaction, one relationship, and one community at a time. We do it by supporting kids and schools, pitching in to help neighbors in need, partnering with rural businesses, and providing all the traditional and modern banking products and personalized lending services you expect from a reliable financial partner. Bank North, always true.
All right, welcome back. yourliveevent.com as we're back for that top half of the 5th inning, due up for the Sargent County Bulldogs here, the top half of the 5th inning, as they will have their 2, 3, and 4 hitters coming up with Tristan Peterson, Harry Newstall, and Braxton Erickson. Still in the game and pitching for the Northern Cass Jaguars is Parker Anderson. So Anderson coming in that 3rd inning as he recorded 2 strikeouts in that 3rd inning. Or I should say coming in the 4th inning, he came in that 4th inning as he recorded 1 strikeout, he recorded 2 strikeouts and gave up a walk there in the 4th inning for the Northern Cass Jaguars. As coming up here is Tristan Peterson. Off the delivery, is going to swing and a miss for strike 1 on Tristan Peterson. Peterson in the game for Northern Cass. As Anderson with the delivery is going to hit a chopper here. 3rd base side, fielded by Anderson. Is going to rifle over. That's in the dirt, not in time. Off the throw, hard play there as having to go to the glove side. Over there was Parker Anderson. Deep across the 3rd baseline, over towards the Sargent County Bulldog dugout, trying to make the throw across, put it in the dirt as Tristan Peterson will reach. And he's aboard. So leadoff hitter is aboard there for the Sargent County Bulldogs. That brings up Harry Newstall. So Newstall in the game, 1 for 1 for Sargent County. Newstall, left-handed batter, and that'll be high and inside. So 1 ball, 1 strike there to Tristan Peterson. To Harry Newstall. Peterson over on first base. Nobody out. Leadoff hitters aboard. That's going to be swung on for strike 2. The 2-1 count, the 1-2 count. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Runner on first with nobody down there for Harry Newstall. Newstall started the game pitching. He moved over to shortstop in the game for Sargent County. 1 for 1 in the game. As Anderson takes a look, that's going to be inside, drawing the walk. Or excuse me, hit by pitch there was Harry Newstall. So that'll advance the runner Peterson over to second. And Newstall with the hit by pitch will go to first. And that'll bring up Braxton Erickson. Erickson in the game 1 for 2. Had a single in the first inning, struck out in the third. As that'll be Erickson facing off with runners on first and second. So leadoff runner aboard with the single, and then a hit by pitch, or excuse me, a hit by pitch on Newstall. Puts runners at first and second here. Braxton Erickson stepping in against Parker Anderson. Anderson, the left-handed pitcher, takes a look at second with Peterson. Takes another look, double look at second. Now the pitch, and that's going to be swung on, foul back behind home plate. So 1 ball, 1 strike here to Braxton Erickson with nobody out for Parker Anderson. So Anderson taking a long look at home plate, gets the sign. Going up against Braxton Erickson, has runners on first and second here. Sargent County takes another look at second. Oh, and I think we have a balk, or what is it? I think it was time. Maybe it was just time there by home plate umpire Pat Adair. So I think the catcher calling time there, getting it by the home plate umpire Pat Adair. Yeah, it was kind of a late call as he was well into being set there, as he kind of took a double look at second, as the looked like Peterson kind of bluffing there at second base, distracted the pitcher, and the catcher there doing a good job here getting things back under control for Northern Cass, calling time. That was Wadeson. So here's Anderson, takes another look at second, another look, double look at second, the pitch, and that's going to be outside for a ball on Braxton Erickson. So a 2-1 count there to Erickson. Erickson in the game 1 for 2. Single back in the first inning, struck out in the second. As Anderson takes a look at first and back to second. Double look at second once again. The pitch, and that's going to be high for another ball. So ball 3, 3-1 count there to Braxton Erickson. Runners on first and second, nobody out. Northern Cass taking the lead on that Dakota Heritage Bank scoreboard update. Now they're up by a score of 2-1. Scoring there in the bottom half of the 4th inning, taking the lead. Runner in scoring position for Sargent County is Tristan Peterson. Second baseman doing a lot of work there. Peterson with the fake steal, and that's going to be a walk over there for Braxton Erickson. So now bases loaded, nobody out. No mound visit here coming for Northern Cass, as Anderson will stay in with bases loaded. So Cole Fury coming up. Fury 0 for 2 in the game. He had a ground out in the first inning, struck out in the third, and that's going to be a pop-up behind home plate. The pitcher, the catcher going over, not able to make the play. That stayed inside the fence. And trying to make a play on it was Wadeson. Wadeson not able to get to it, as that'll be fouled back for strike 1 on Cole Fury. So runners, bases loaded in this inning. Tristan Peterson reaching on a single. Then Harry Newstall hit by pitch and a walk given up to Braxton Erickson there by Parker Anderson on the mound for Northern Cass. So that's in this inning with the foul ball by Cole Fury. The 0-1 count, that swung on for strike 2. Nobody out. The 0-2 count now to Cole Fury. Said Parker Anderson slowing down quite a bit on the mound, has really taken his time looking things over. Has nobody out with the delivery, and that's going to be swung on, lifted here to center field. That's going to drive a run across. So a run coming across is Tristan Peterson. Big throw to home. Wadeson didn't see it at first. Now he's going to barehand it at home place. And that's going to be an RBI single for Cole Fury with the RBI, and that's going to bring in Tristan Peterson. And that'll advance runners around as Harry Newstill now to third. So we have runners back to bases loaded. And that'll bring up Elijah Hansen. So Hansen up with bases loaded. Hansen up, nobody out. And new score update on the BHB scoreboard is tied up at 2 with Tristan Peterson coming across. That first pitch by Anderson to Hansen. That's Elijah Hansen. As that falls in for strike 1. So pitcher's going at it here. Hansen pitching and now batting with the strike 2 swinging on the left-handed hitter. So low 2 count, lefty against lefty. Hansen, the left-handed hitter. Anderson, left-handed pitcher, going at it with nobody out. Bases loaded, 1 run across so far in this inning for Sargent County. That's going to be check swing foul for the 0-2 count. Yeah, that bounces, creens off the fence over there on the visitor dugout side. So the 0-2 count here to Hansen. Anderson still in the game with bases loaded, nobody out, 1 run across. As we're tied up at 2, that's swung on down the first baseline, and that's going to go fair to the right fielder. Another run across for Sargent County. Runner's going to hold up as the ball back in to the first baseman. So that'll bring in across Harry Newstill, as Newstill across with a run scored. A single by Elijah Hansen helping out the cause there for the pitching staff at Sargent County. And that'll advance all runners up 1 base with another run across. Sargent County now leads up on the DH Sports scoreboard by a score of 3-2. It looks like we have a mound visit coming up there as Coach Lucas Bush out to the mound there for Northern Cass. So we're going to step away for a quick timeout on YourLiveEvent.com.
There's a new inventory of trailers at Bloomfield Enterprises of Hillsboro. You can see the latest inventory online at BloomfieldTrailers.com. Bloomfield Enterprises has a full line of Big Tex trailers. Big Tex has affordable and versatile utility trailers for all your jobs. Big Tex has a full line of products from ATV trailers to gooseneck to dump trailers and more. Call Larry at 218-368-7989 or Tim at 701-430-0877. Bloomfield Enterprises in Hillsboro.
Hey, welcome back here, LiveEvent.com, as that new score now. Sargent County Bulldogs 3, Northern Cass 2. Still here, top half of the 5th inning, as Sargent County with 3 hits this inning on that DHB in-game update. 3 hits in this inning for Sargent County, as they have 2 runs across, and that's going to be Connor Olson up for Sargent County with nobody out. That falls in for ball 1. So the 1-0 count here to Connor Olson, as Anderson staying in the game here is going to try to match out that pitch count. And that's going to fall in, drops in for strike 1. 1 ball, 1 strike there to Connor Olson. As Anderson's going to go ahead and step off and take some time on the mound here for Sargent County in this inning, leading things off. That was Tristan Peterson, gets on with a single, then a hit by pitch, a walk, and now 2 singles back-to-back. Brings up Connor Olson. That's swung on, foul back behind home plate for strike 2. 1 ball, 2 strikes there on Connor Olson. So Anderson trying to get his first out of this inning with 2 runs across for Sargent County and nobody out. 3 hits this inning, a walk and a hit by pitch. As bases loaded, Anderson with the pitch, Olson with the swing and the miss for the strikeout. As Connor Olson now with 2 strikeouts in this game, had to walk back in the 4th inning. So 0 for 2 officially now for Connor Olson with strikeout number 2, and then first strikeout and the first out of this inning for Parker Anderson. Anderson, I think in the game now looks like he has 3 strikeouts in the game are recorded now for Parker Anderson. And that'll bring up Carson Daly, the number 8 hitter for Sargent County. Still bases loaded with 1 out. Looking at your runners on base, we have Braxton Erickson at 3rd, Cole Fury at 2nd, Elijah Hansen over at 1st with 1 down for Sargent County. And Anderson throws that one in there for a strike on Daly. So 1 ball, 1 strike now to Carson Daly, number 8 hitter in the lineup. Daly back in the 2nd inning, grounded out to the 2nd baseman, and then struck out in the 4th inning. And that'll be fouled off for strike 2. 1 ball, 2 strikes now to Carson Daly. With 1 down, bases loaded. And taking his time on the mound there is Anderson. Anderson with the leg kick delivery, and that's going to be swung on. Strike 3. And back-to-back strikeouts now. The number 7, number 8 hitters for Sargent County going down by strikeouts. As helping the cows out here in the pitch count now for Parker Anderson. With 2 strikeouts back-to-back, recording 2 outs with bases loaded to bring up your designated hitter, Brody Mayer. As Mayer drew a walk in the bottom of the 3rd inning, and then looked like he was put out in the 4th inning on a fielder's choice. So that is a strike called on Brody Mayer for the 0-1 count. And that pitch swung on for strike 2 as Parker Anderson eating up the bottom of the order here on Sargent County here with your number 7, number 8 hitters, Olson and Daly striking out. And that's going to be strikeout number 3 in a row as Anderson coming in here at the bottom of the order, striking out Sargent County. But Sargent County doing some damage in this inning as they're going to go ahead and record 2 runs off of 3 hits. No errors by Northern Cass with 3 runners left on base. So Sargent County here with that new DHB scoreboard update now lead by a score of 3-2 coming up in the bottom half of the 5th inning for Northern Cass. Due up for Northern Cass looks like they have Chris Hoyland, Cody Wadeson, and Case Miller. That's just ahead on yourliveevent.com.
Growers, prepare your fields and yields against the wet conditions today and beyond with the Drain Tile Project from Chad's Excavating out of Mayville. Drain tiling will improve and increase your yield and land values for years to come. Chad's Excavating provides free detailed estimates, and with over 40 years of combined success, they provide professional installation and service. Call Chad today to prepare for your future and any questions that you might have. That's Chad's Excavating out of Mayville, helping farmers grow.
For trusted news, weather, and sports from your community, look to R&J Broadcasting Incorporated, KRJB, KRJM, and KKCQ Radio, and rjbroadcasting.com. Hear local voices from local radio with news and information from the area. Your information stations, KRJB, KRJM, and KKCQ Radio, and rjbroadcasting.com. Local voices from local radio.
All right, welcome back here at yourliveevent.com as we're back here for more from Cummings Field, Oaks, North Dakota. As here for that Bank North bracket breakdown from everyday banking to ag business lending. Bank North supports local families and businesses with financial solutions rooted in community commitment and local decisions. Visit banknorth.bank to learn more. That's your Bank North member FDIC and equal housing lender bracket breakdown. As starting out the day here in Oaks, as we had number 1 Kindred defeating Central Cass by a score of 5-3. Kindred onto the championship game. That'll be that first championship game. That'll be played on Monday. And game number 2, it was Oak Grove over Oaks by a score of 16-6. And now we have another loser out game as it is Sargent County taking on Northern Cass. Currently our score of 3-2 here, bottom half of the 5th inning, as due up for the Northern Cass Jaguars is Chris Hoyland for Northern Cass. As Hoyland in the game with a single back in the 3rd inning and a strikeout in the 1st. Officially 1 for 2 in the game with the 0-1 count. Drop in for strike 2, 0-2 now. As Hanson staying in the game for Sargent County. Leading things off pitching for Sargent County, that was Harry Newstall. As Newstall going 2 innings, and that's going to be a hard hit ball over to the left field side and drifting foul as that ball carried once it got up into the air, but that drifts foul there for Hoyland on a long strike. So still the 0-2 count now to Chris Hoyland. They mentioned Hoyland in the game 1 for 2, had a single back in the 3rd inning with an RBI, and then struck out in the 1st inning, recording that second out of the 1st inning. Now with the 0-2 count going against Elijah Hanson. And that pitch, it's high and outside for ball 1. The 1-2 count there on Chris Hoyland. As I mentioned, Newstall leading things off here pitching for Sargent County, as he went 2 innings, giving up no runs. And this is going to be a high fly ball drifting over here to center field there, and that's going to drop in, and that's a home run, as it was a high fly ball here to center fielder. Home run for Chris Hoyland, as that's going to tie things up. So Hoyland with the home run here to center field. Should say right center in the gap, and that's going to tie things up now, as we're tied up on that Dakota Heritage Bank DH scoreboard now, 3-3 off the home run by Hoyland. So Hoyland leading things off in the bottom half of the 5th inning for Northern Cass Jaguars, and now tied up at 3-3 with that big bomb by Chris Hoyland, and that'll bring up Cody Wadeson. So Wadeson in this game with a couple ground outs. So he's 0 for 2. And that's going to go ahead. And that's going to be ball 1 on Cody Wadeson. So here Cody Wadeson steps back in, as Hansen's still in the game, giving up the home run here to Chris Hoyland. And that's going to be swung on for strike 1. So 1 ball, 1 strike now to Cody Wadeson. So Hansen working out of the windup. Takes a step back, the delivery, and that's going to be outside for ball 2 to Cody Wadeson. 2 balls and 1 strike. As Hansen out of the windup. The pitch that's swung on by Wadeson, third base side, and that's going to be foul. So picked up over there on the third base side in foul territory. And that's going to be 2 strikes off the foul ball. So 2 balls, 2 strikes is the count on Wadeson. Wadeson in the game 0 for 2. Grounded out in the, or I should say flew out to left field in the first inning, and then a ground out to the third baseman. And this is going to be a high fly ball here to right center, and that's drifting over and making the play. Here's the right fielder for the Sargent County Bulldogs, Connor Olson. So Olson hauling that ball in, recording the first out of the inning here, as Cody Wadeson flies out this time to right field, as we're tied up ball game off the home run by Chris Hoyland to lead things off for Northern Cass. And that'll bring up Kason Miller, number 3 batter in this inning. And that's going to drop in for a strike, as Kason Miller in the game going 1 for 2. Had a single back in the second inning, and then grounded out to the pitcher in the 4th inning. So on the 0-1 pitch, that's going to be a big swing and a miss for strike 2, the 0-2 count. There on Miller. So the 0-2 count. Elijah Hansen still on the mound for Sargent County. Coming in relief of Newstall on the pitch. That's going to be down the middle high for ball 1, the 1-2 count now. As that ball drifting just high above the letters on Miller's jersey. So Hansen taking a look in with the pitch. That's going to be outside, swung on, and fouled off the first base side. So that's still 1 ball, 2 strike to count. 1 out in this inning. That was a fly out to right field by Cody Wadeson. 1 run across, home run by Chris Hoyland for Northern Cass. That ball's going to drop in there for ball 2. So 2 balls, 2 strikes to Kason Miller. Miller 1 for 2 with the single back in the second inning and the ground out in the 4th. Now with the 2-2 count there by Hansen out of the windup, and that's going to be swung on, fouled back. Doing a big battle, or battling it out here and raising that pitch count on Hansen is Kason Miller. So Miller fighting off these pitches by Hansen. So 2-2's your count. Hansen still working out of the windup. Little slide step on the kick. That's going to be chopper here to the Harry Newstall. The shortstop fires over to first for the out. as Kaysen Miller grounds out to the shortstop for the 6-3 putout. And that'll bring up Parker Anderson. Anderson currently in pitching. Started the game in center field for Northern Cass. Anderson in this game is 0 for 2. He had a ground out in the second inning and struck out in the fourth. As we have a tie ball game here in the bottom half of the fifth inning, tied up 3-3. And Hansen with the pitch, that swung on for strike one to Parker Anderson. So we got 2 outs off of 1 run and 1 hit so far here for Northern Cass. With Hansen on the mound for Sargent County on the pitch. And that's going to be swung on, fouled off, maybe off the foot or off the front of home plate. And we're going to have the 0-2 count. So 0-2 is our count with 2 down here on Parker Anderson. At the plate, Anderson on the season was batting .267. As Hansen's going to go ahead and throw this one in there low and inside for ball 1. 1 ball, 2 strikes is your count on Parker Anderson. So Anderson in the game 0 for 2. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Hansen still working out of the windup. Nobody on for Northern Cass. And that's going to be swung on for strike 3 and struck him out swinging. And the strikeout recorded now here for Hansen, as Hansen in the game with 2 strikeouts. So for Northern Cass in this inning, they had 1 run off of 1 hit. No errors by Sargent County and nobody left on base. As coming up for Sargent County Bulldogs in the top half of the 6th inning, Sargent County coming up, they'll have top of the order with Anthony Furter, Tristan Peterson, and Harry Newstill due up. And that's just ahead on yourliveevent.com.
Sharing our heritage, sharing our future. Choosing the right bank for your financial needs can be challenging with the many choices available. Dakota Heritage Bank is pleased you're interested in knowing more about what they can do for you. The Dakota Heritage Bank community bank setting is a strong advantage they have over larger, less personal banks. Customers are more than account numbers. They are friends and neighbors. Working together, Dakota Heritage Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Keep your car moving along with the team at Elite Automotive Center in Fargo. What sets Elite Automotive Center apart from the herd is their truly extensive list of services. From brake and tire service to tune-ups and battery replacement, there's no job too big or small for their ASE certified technicians. Schedule your next oil change by going to EliteAutomotiveCenter.com or scan the QR code on your screen now. Never settle for standard service. Stop by Elite Automotive Center today in Fargo.
All right, welcome back here to yourliveevent.com as you're the top half of the 6th inning. Due up for the Sargent County Bulldogs, back to the top of the order. As due up now, we have Anthony Furter, Tristan Peterson, Harry Newstill. And then for the Northern Cass Jaguars, new pitcher in the game is Cody Wadeson. Wadeson coming from behind the plate as Wadeson in to pitch up on the mound. And currently our score, we're tied up at 3 apiece with your Dakota Heritage Bank in-game update here with that DHB in-game update, as Sargent County in the game with 8 hits total in the game, 2 errors. Northern Cass with 6 hits in the game, no errors. And both teams opening up their scoring in that 3rd inning with 1 run apiece, as that first pitch from Wadeson drops in for a strike on Anthony Furter. And so Wadeson open up with a strike. Your 0-1 count now, as that one drops inside. 1 ball, 1 strike on Anthony Furter. As Wadeson working fast out of the windup, and that swung on for strike 2. So 1 ball, 2 strikes here to Furter, and that's going to be high. Drops in on the curveball for ball 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes from Wadeson. Wadeson so far with 3 pitches working against Anthony Furter. Furter in the game 1 for 2 with a single back in the 2nd inning, and that's going to drop in for a ball on Furter, as that's going to be the 3-2 count there on Anthony Furter. Wadeson on the mound, and that's going to be a ball low and away for ball 4. The walk given up to Furterer. So leadoff hitter, leadoff board there, Anthony Furterer with the walk. So that is Furterer's second time aboard as Furterer in the game. He had that single and then a strikeout, and now draws a walk here the top half of the 6th inning. And that'll bring up Tristan Peterson. Peterson in the game, 2 for 3. And that's going to be in for a ball on Peterson. Peterson with a run scored in the 5th inning and 2 singles. That was back in the 2nd and 3rd innings. As that's going to be swung on by Peterson. Off, hits a hard hit off the shortstop. Shortstop down on the field. And that's going to be a base hit for Tristan Peterson. And that'll advance the runner, Anthony Furterer. As taking that hard shot or hard line drive was your shortstop. And he's down on the field. So looks like we got timeout on the field. With that timeout, we're going to go and step away for a timeout. Come back for more on yourliveevent.com.
Emery Vistos Implement has been family owned and operated since 1935. Located in Oaks, North Dakota, they sell CarQuest automotive parts and numerous lines of agriculture parts. Plus, you'll have to stop by and check out their clothing and footwear department, featuring the brands of Brothers in Arms, Howitzer, Ariat, Cinch, and Twisted X Footwear. Emery Vistos Implement everything and anything you need is under one roof. Stop in just south of Oaks on Highway 1 or call 701-742-2167.
At Enbridge, we're focused on relationships. 23 Canadian First Nation and Métis communities now own an equity stake in Enbridge Athabasca Pipelines. In Minnesota, Enbridge has spent $450 million and counting with Native-owned companies and in wages to tribal members working on Line 3. Every day brings new collaborations, partnerships, and possibilities. Learn more at Enbridge.com.
All right, welcome back here to Cummings Field in Oaks, North Dakota. As after that timeout, that was Chris Hoyland went down on the field, your shortstop, as he's back up, walking around, just had to work things out after that hard hit there in that base hit by Tristan Peterson. I'll bring up Harry Newstall, as Newstall last time up was hit by a pitch with a run scored, and this hit drove back up the middle, and that's going to be mishandled, and the run's going to come home as he's heading home and diving across and safe. And taking the lead now is Sargent County, as they're going to go up by a score of 4-3, as Anthony Furter with the heads up off of third base, as the ball is kind of dropped or juggled here by the center fielder off of the base hit by Harry Newstall, and that's going to bring a run across with Anthony Furter. He was your leadoff hitter, leadoff batter, and that'll bring runners at first and second with nobody out. So Tristan Peterson and Harry Newstall on for Sargent County. Run across as Anthony Furter, new score up on the DH4 scoreboard. It's going to be 4-3 Sargent County as Wadeson in to pitch, and he's pitching to Braxton Erickson. And that's going to drop in for ball 1 on Erickson. So looks like ball 1, the 1-0 count now to Erickson. Runners on first and second, nobody out. Now it's going to be swung on hard here at third baseman. That's going to get by him and going into left field, and runners waved home. Coach Searstead sends him home, not in time, sliding across and safe. And the runner advanced there as Harry Newstall to third. As Erickson with the base hit, he's going to stay on first. Newstall to third. Runner across is Peterson. So Peterson across. And 2 runs across as the lead opens up on the DHB scoreboard by a score of 5-3 in favor of Sargent County, as the rally is on. And they have 2 runs across off a walk and 3 base hits, or 3 hits so far in this inning off of Wadeson. Wadeson brought in to pitch in this inning in relief of Parker Anderson. And that pitch going to go outside there to Cole Fury for ball 1. So that'll be the 1-0 count now to Cole Fury. And that's going to be inside for ball 2. So lone way now high and inside there to Cole Fury with 2 runs across for Sargent County. They have runners at the corner with nobody out. And that ball in or low and away, but it drops in across the edge of the plate for strike 1. So now with the 2-1 count on Cole Fury there by Wadeson. With runners at the corner, nobody out. 2-1 pitch coming up, working on the stretch there. The right-handed pitcher, and the snap throw over to first. The runner stays at third. So nobody advancing. Runner staying at third off the snap throw over to first by the pitcher. Runner still at the corners with Cole Fury up the 2-1 count. And that pitch is inside for ball 3. 3 balls, 1 strike now to Cole Fury. Fury looking to do some damage either with a hit or a walk to load things up. And the pitch by Wadeson is going to drop in low for ball 4 as we got a walk there by Cole Fury, and that'll load the bases up. So Erickson will go to second. Newstall will stay at third. And Cole Fury walks his way or makes his way down to first base as Elijah Hansen up with nobody out. And that pitch inside gets away, and it's going to go to the backstop. Run's going to score. Advances the runners from first and second, now over to second and third. As Harry Newstall across for the 3rd run of the inning. And your new score here with those 3 runs for Sargent County as Braxton Erickson. And looks like we have timeout on the mound, so we're going to go ahead and catch up on our scoring with this timeout on the mound there for Northern Cass. We'll step away for 30 seconds.
In times like these, it's good to know there's a place where people know who you are, no matter how long you've been gone. A place where the smells of home cooking are still in the air, where a simple wave warms your heart, and sharing stories is just a way of life. It's good to be home. Farmers Union Insurance, protecting what's important in life.
Get in touch with David Bergerman today at 701-724-6252.
All right, welcome back here at liveevent.com as Wadeson will stay in the game after conference on the mound there by the with the conference of the head coach Lucas Bush for Northern Cass as runners at first and second. That's Erickson and Fury, and that's going to drop in first pitch to Elijah Hansen for strike 1. As your DHB scoreboard update now, it's a 6-3 lead for Sargent County as they've plated 3 runs here in the top of the 6th inning. And Wadeson with another pitch, and that'll be 1 ball, 1 strike there to Elijah Hansen. That's going to be swung on, lifts this one high. Coming here deep to the left field, gets over his head, and that's going to go to the fence. The 2 runs are going to come around to score, and Hansen's going to go and stand up at second as that ball finally making its way, but that's going to be a double and 2 runs across there for Elijah Hansen. And Hansen lifted that one deep to center field, got it to the fence, and 2 runs around to score. As 2 more runs across, your score now 8-3, and that's first pitch swung on there by Connor Olson for strike 1. Olson 0 for 2 had struck out in the 2nd inning, and then again in the 5th, had a walk in the 4th. As runner over on second is Hansen, and that's going to be strike 2. So the 0-2 count coming here for Connor Olson. Runner on second is Elijah Hansen. Hansen with 2 RBIs. Off of that double, driving in Braxton Erickson and Cole Fury. So Hansen helping the Cows out in relief of Newstall. Check swing, gets away from the catcher. Hansen's going to make his way over to third. The throw, not in time. Hansen over to third as the runner advances. Still nobody out with a 2 strikes, 0-2 count there on Connor Olson. So Hansen over to third with 2 RBIs off of that double, driving in Erickson and Fury. New scoreboard on the AHB scoreboard is 8-3, and that's going to be ball one to Connor Olson. As Wadeson, the right-handed pitcher, will take a look at home plate. Gets the sign, the delivery, dropping in for another ball. As that's outside, loading away for ball two there to Connor Olson. 2 balls, 2 strikes for Olson. Olson 0-2 in the game with a walk back in the 4th inning. And the pitch, that's swung on, strike 3. As Olson striking out for the 3rd time in the game. Now Wadeson with his first strikeout. As that's the first out of the inning for Sargent County. Sargent County with 5 runs this inning. Carson Daly coming up. Daly, that first pitch drops in for a strike. So runner on third. Over there is Elijah Hansen. Hansen is making his way off a double and then a stolen base off a pass ball. And this is going to be a chopper here to the shortstop. Hoyland fires over to first for the out, holding the runner and checking the runner over there. And off the fielder's choice on the out. Or I should say the force out at first. So that's going to be the 6-3 put out. Holding the runner is over at third. That was Elijah Hansen. So good job there by Hoyland. Checked the runner at third and then got the out for the second out of the inning. And that'll bring up your number 9 batter, designated hitter Brody Mayer, and that's going to be high inside for ball 1. So 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 count to Brody Mayer. 5 runs across this inning for Sargent County with 2 down, runner on third base, Elijah Hansen. That pitch swung on, lifted foul behind home plate. 1 ball, 1 strike now to Brody Mayer. As Mayer steps out. Waits and working out of the stretch. Takes a look at home plate, gets the sign, now the delivery, and that's going to be high inside for ball 2. So 2 balls and 1 strike there on Brody Mayer. As your score now 8-3 in favor of Sargent County with this big top of the 6th inning. And that swung on chop here to the shortstop. Hoyland fields it cleanly over to first and records the 3rd out of the innings there for Sargent County. So Sargent County in this inning with 5 runs, and that's off of, I think, 4 hits, 5 runs off of 4 hits, no errors by Northern Cass, and 1 runner left on base for Sargent County. So our new score up on the DHB scoreboard, 8-3 due up for Northern Cass in the bottom half of the 6th inning, as they'll bring up Jace Aronson, Riker Strawman, and Isaac Higgs. So that's just ahead on yourlevevent.com.
Great Plains Fireworks and Sports Collectibles, Hillsboro. Fireworks and sports stuff in the same store? That's right. Great Plains Fireworks and Sports Collectibles, Hillsboro. Come in and browse the sports cards and memorabilia and fireworks at the same time. Unopened packs and boxes of sports cards, plus pre-owned cards as well. Jersey, swatch, autograph cards, lots of Twins, Vikings, Wolves, Wild, Lynx, and North Stars memorabilia, bobbleheads, caps, and more. Call anytime, 701-436-6140. Great Plains Fireworks and Sports Collectibles, Hillsboro.
It's safe to say we have it pretty good in the Drayton, North Dakota area. Growing sugar beets, making sugar, bringing a little sweetness to the world. Every day, American Crystal Sugar produces sweet products people love in a place we love to call home. It's a thing we like to call the sweet life, and we're proud to share it with you. American Crystal Sugar's Drayton facility wants you to enjoy the events in the communities of our area. Here's to living the sweet life. American Crystal Sugar, Drayton.
All right, hey, back here at yourlevevent.com as we're back to for the bottom of the 6th inning. And due up for Northern Cass, they have your 7, 8, 9 hitter. Leading things off will be Jace Aronson, then Riker Strawman and Isaac Idso. Elijah Hansen still on the mound for Sargent County. Looking at Hansen, so far in this game, coming in relief of Harry Newstall, he has 58 pitches. He started the game with 47, right now up to a total pitch count of 105. So it looks like Sargent County try to ride out Elijah Hansen as long as they can here with that pitch count. Can have 120 pitches in a day, or I think it's 135 for the tournament. As Hansen there with a swing and a miss, maybe fouled off there by Aronson. Here, bottom half of the 6th inning. So 1 ball, 1 strike to Jace Aronson. Aronson looks like for Northern Cass with a strikeout back in the 2nd inning, then drew a walk in the 4th with a run scored back in the 4th inning. There for Jace Aronson. And Hansen back on the mound working out of the windup. So the 2-1 count now to Jace Aronson. Works out of the windup, the quick step to home and drops in for strike 2. So 2 balls, 2 strikes is the count to Jace Aronson. Leading things off for Northern Cass, bottom half of the 6th inning. Aronson officially 0 for 1. Had that strikeout back in the 2nd inning, recording the 2nd out. And this is going to be swung on, strike 2, and they're going to throw it around as gets him swinging. There's Elijah Hansen. So Hansen continues strong performance on the mound as he's going to go ahead and record another strikeout in the game. And I think looks like strikeout number 4 for Elijah Hansen. 1 out, 1 down for Sargent County. Now Riker Stroman up for Northern Cass. Stroman in the game. He was struck out in the 2nd inning, then hit by pitch in the 4th. And that's going to be strike 1. So 1 out. 0-1 count to Riker Stroman. That's going to be high for ball 1. So 1 ball, 1 strike. As Hansen taking over for Harry Newstall. That was top of the, or I should say in the 3rd inning, coming in to take over pitching, and he's had a strong performance since then. Newstall giving up no runs in his first 2 innings of work. All 3 runs coming here off of Hansen, but our score currently 8-3 in favor of Sargent County, and that's going to drop in strike 2 on Stroman. So 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2-2 count, 1 strikeout in this inning. That was Jace Aronson to lead things off for Northern Cass. That swung on, followed back by Stroman for the 2-2 count. So doing some battling up there now on Hansen, trying to raise that pitch count up. And Hansen working out of the windup. And he's going to take the step back, quick slide step towards home, swung on for strike 3. And the 2 strikeouts in the inning, so 2 up, 2 down now for Northern Cass. As 2 strikeouts, now 5 in the game for Elijah Hansen. And that'll bring up number 9 hitter, Isaac Idso. Idso on the season batting 160 here, hitting in the 9 hole. As Hansen with the delivery, and that'll be outside, drops outside, low and away for ball 1. So that'll be the 1-0 count. Hansen takes a step back, slide step towards home, swung on, kind of a check swing. And that'll be 1 ball, 1 strike as Patadere rings him up here. So looking at this swing and a miss for strike 2. The bottom kind of dropped out of that one on Idso. Idso a little hesitant on those first 2 swings. As that'll be 1 ball, 2 strike, the 1-2 count, 2 down. Looking to record his 3rd strikeout now is Elijah Hansen. Has the 2 strikes on Idso. Swung on chopper as that's going to go foul on the 3rd base side. So Idso still battling up there with the 2 strikes. As he's in the game, he was struck out in the 3rd inning, then hit by pitch in the 4th. Looks like he made his way around to 2nd, eventually there in that 4th inning. And that's going to go inside, just missing him for the 2nd ball. So 2 balls, 2 strikes, and the 2-2 count. As Hansen on the mound, out of the windup, and the delivery swung on 3rd base side, fouled off again, raising that pitch count now with 74 pitches in the game is Elijah Hansen. As Hansen started the game with 47. So that's 121 total, and that's going to be outside for ball 3 as Hansen trying to reel him back in. He was working ahead of the batter, but now falling behind with the full count. 3-2 count there to the number 9 hitter. Doesn't want to put the number 9 hitter on here with 2 down. And that's going to be swung on. Chopper, first base side. Idso having a good at bat as he started out working behind on the pitcher and then battling his way back to this full count, following off 3 pitches from Hansen. So the number 9 hitter battling here against Hansen, and that's going to go low inside. Struck him out, hit the inside corner of the plate. There's not much he could do with that pitch, as that's going to record strikeout number 3. Patted air punching him out there for the 1-2-3 inning for Northern Cass. That'll bring up top of the 7th for Sargent County just to rehash that inning. And so that was no runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left on base for Northern Cass. That'll bring up your top half of the 7th inning for Sargent County, due up as they're batted around in their order. They've batted around in their order. So coming back up top of the order for Sargent County with Anthony Fitterer, Tristan Peterson, and Harry Newstall just ahead on your liveevent.com.
Imagine your life in Hillsborough, a place where neighbors know your name and opportunities are real. Here, you'll find affordable home lots and grants to help you build your future. In Hillsborough, safety, affordability, and community aren't just promises, they're our way of life. With a 24-hour fitness center, a strong school system, a trusted hospital, and a thriving business district, Hillsborough has everything you need to live well. Here, your family is our family, and your future shines bright. Discover Hillsborough, where small-town living means big opportunities.
Hunter Insurance Agency is a locally owned full-service agency providing protection and coverage in a number of different areas. Hunter Insurance Agency offers multi-peril crop insurance, crop hail insurance, and farm insurance for buildings and equipment. Plus, they offer home, auto, life, and business insurance. For more information, go online to hunterinsuranceagency.com or stop in and speak with Johnny Jorgensen at Hunter Insurance Agency. Find them at 201 Main Street, Hunter.
All right, welcome back here at liveevent.com as we're back for that top half of the 7th inning. As Sargent County due up, they've back around to the top of the order, kind of where you want to be here for Sargent County. Sitting good now, up by 5 on that DHB scoreboard there by a score of 8-3. As just have to continue to mention that we're out here in that center field press box, broadcasting to you from that David Bergman Agency Farmers Union Insurance broadcast booth. Your headquarters for home, auto, life, farm and ranch, business, crop, and health. Not all products underwritten by Farmers Union Insurance. Call 701-742-6252. That's your David Bergman Agency Farmers Union Insurance broadcast booth here for Region 1 baseball. As Anthony Furterer going to step in. Wadeson, first pitch, hits him off top of the helmet. And that's going to be a hit by pitch, and that'll put that leadoff runner aboard. And leadoff batter aboard there in Anthony Furterer. As Wadeson with that delivery, the right-handed pitcher takes that one, or Furterer takes that one off the top of the helmet, puts him on first base. And now Wadeson working against Peterson. Big swing and a miss on Peterson, as Peterson getting a hold of that one. I think he raised the wind speed there by about 5 miles an hour. Yeah, that was a big swing and a miss by Peterson. And Wadeson now with the pitch, and that's going to be fouled off. Oh, it's going to go down here in the right field, and that's going to drop fair. Shallow right field, racing over to his Furterer, and the single dropping in for Peterson. As Peterson fought off that pitch and was able to get it into shallow right field, looking like it was maybe going foul. But we got the base hit now as runners at first and second, nobody out. Top of the order doing some damage again here for Sargent County as they have 2 runners on here with Furterer and Peterson. That'll bring up number 3 hitter Harry Newstall. As Newstall in the game going 2 for 2. He had a single back in the first inning, a single in the 6th. And then he has 2 runs scored. He was hit by a pitch and made it to base. And this is going to be hit here to the shortstop. Hoyland's going to step on second over to first, not in time. And that's going to get away. Run's going to come around to score. That's Furterer across and scores. So Anthony Furterer, after hit by pitch to lead things off, comes around. That kind of bites Northern Cass there as he'll come around to score. And then Peterson thrown out on second off of the fielder's choice, and Newstall will be safe at first. So the 1 out here, Tristan Peterson out, going to second, and that'll leave Harry Newstall on at first, and that'll bring up Braxton Erickson. And that swung on hard hit to Hoyland, not able to glove it over to second for the out on Newstall, and not able to turn the double play. But a good glove work there by Hoyland, just not able to reel that one in, did get the out. The lead runner there at second. So that'll be another fielder's choice there. Braxton Erickson with the hard hit, as he'll make his way safely over to first, but there's 2 down now. As a run did come across there on the DHB scoreboard update, as Anthony Furter with the run. 9-3 lead now for Sargent County, putting another one on. That first pitch against Fury is going to drop in for a strike. So the 0-1 count now to Cole Fury. And 2 down, 1 run across. Top half of the 7th inning for Sargent County. Big swing and a miss for strike 2. As Fury wanted all that high fastball, not able to catch up with it. And Wadeson gets it by him. Wadeson takes a look at first. That's Erickson over at first. Erickson with the big lead, big secondary. That's going to drop in curveball for ball 1. 1 ball, 2 strikes is the count. 1 for 3 on the day now for Cole Fury. Fury with a single back in the 5th inning, an RBI single back in the 5th inning. Also drew a walk and scored a run in the 6th for Cole Fury. That's going to be swung on, fouled off. So still a 1-2 count with 2 down. As Sargent County plating that run by Anthony Furterer. And that's going to be a chopper here going to Hoyland. Hoyland again is going to step on second. So Hoyland doing the yeoman's work here in this inning, recording all 3 outs, or accountable for all 3 outs out of that shortstop position. So here on the top half of the 7th inning for Sargent County, they had 1 run off of 1 hit. And no errors with 1 runner left on base, as that'll do it there for Sargent County, top half of the 7th inning. Coming up for the Northern Cass Jaguars, bottom half of the 7th. They're down by 6, 9-3. They're back to the top of the order. Coming up is Brody Zeski, Brooks Crockett, and Chris Hoyland. That's just ahead on yourliveevent.com.
The Kinder Public School District looks to collaboratively cultivate an environment that challenges learners to reach their full potential in a student-centered, community-supported environment while building authentic relationships that promotes active engagement in learning, literacy, and life. Kindred Public Schools' mission is to educate, prepare, and maximize student potential. Kindred Public School District, student-centered, community-supported. For more info about upcoming school events and news, go online to kindred.k12.us.
Milner Grain understands that agriculture is your livelihood, and we're committed to providing you with the highest quality of services to meet your farming needs. Milner Grain has a passion for our community and the farmers we serve. Milner Grain is locally owned and operated. When you're looking for a partner in the field, look to Milner Grain. Call 701-427-5284 or check out Milner Grain's app with current up-to-date prices. Milner Grain is here to help you and your farm grow.
All right, welcome back here, yourliveevent.com, as Northern Cass coming up to bat, and the bottom half of the 7th inning, as they're back to the top of the order. Due up is Brody Ziski, Brooks Crockett, and Chris Hoyland, as there is a changing pitching for Sargent County. Hansen going 4 innings for Sargent County. They're going to bring in Braxton Erickson. So Erickson coming on the mound in relief of Hansen. So Braxton Erickson in to pitch, the right-handed pitcher, as that first pitch drops in for ball 1, low and away for ball 1. They're off the pitch to Brody Ziski. Yeah, Sargent County with that run there in that top half of the 7th inning. This is going to be off the handle to the second baseman, fires over for the out. Yeah, Sargent County now 2 outs away and picking up the win and trying to make it into this next game. As we're going to have probably a pretty quick turnaround here between games as this one wraps up, as they're going to bring in the winner of this game will play Oak Grove immediately following this, so we won't have much of a break between games. We'll try to get things set back up, do an interview on field, and get back here. As that first out was the 4-3 putout on Zeski, and that first pitch goes to the backstop for ball 1 on Brooks Crockett. As Hansen went 4 innings for Sargent County. Try to find out if I can get the close out the books on him. But Braxton Erickson into pitch, and that's going to be hit down for the first baseman fielding it, beginning cross off the base hit and running that out was the designated hitter, Brooks Crockett. So Crockett aboard after the first baseman went out to field that for Sargent County. As we have one out, one on, and that'll bring up Chris Hoyland. Hoyland 2 for 3 in the game. Had an RBI single in the 3rd inning, and then the home run in the 5th. As that's going to go inside to the backstop, wild pitch. Crockett's going to make his way around to second. As that's going to go ahead and advance the runner to second, and that'll be 1 ball for the 1-0 count with one runner on, and they're just going to walk him over to first. So there'll be an intentional walk there to Hoyland. That'll put him on first. So runners on first and second now for Sargent County with 1 out, and that'll bring up Cody Wadeson. So Cody Wadeson 0 for 3 in the game. Making contact with the ball, flew out to left field in the 1st inning. Grounded out to 3rd in the 3rd inning, and then flew out to right field in the 5th. And that's going to be a swing and a miss for strike 1 on Wadeson. So 1 down, 2 runners on. You have Crockett and Hoyland on base. And that's going to be a swung on high chopper to Newstall. Newstall not able to get it, and the runner's going to come around is Crockett. He's going to come around to score. Runner's at the corner, and the ball's still loose. That's going to allow the runner to go ahead and score. So 2 runs across for Northern Cass. That runner still nobody covering 3rd, and Wadeson makes his way around with 2 runs across. We're going to give him an RBI, and then we have some errors coming up there on Sargent County off of the throws. And then nobody covering 3rd allows Wadeson to go all the way around to 3rd base off the base hit. As we have Crockett coming around to score. And then off the intentional walk, that was Hoyland. He was over at first. He made his way around to score. As that's going to bring a conference there to the mound. Coach Randy Steerstead out to talk things over with his team and settle things down as there's 1 down. 2 runs across now. Your new score 9-5. We're going to go ahead. No, we're going to keep it right here as our score 9-5. And there's a runner on 3rd base. That's Cody Wadeson. And Northern Cass with 2 outs still alive in this game. They're down by 4 runs now. Our score 9-5. Erickson in the game to pitch. He's in relief of Hansen for Sargent County. And that ball low and away inside, or I should say low and away for ball 1 on Kason Miller. So Wadeson give him the RBI, and then Hoyland comes around off of the throwing error for another run. And that's going to be ball 2. So 2 balls, a 2-0 count there to Kason Miller. As Sargent County using 3 pitchers in this game so far. Newstall dig things off, pitching 2 scoreless first 2 innings. Then Hansen give up 3 runs, but he went 4 innings. And now Erickson here in the bottom of the 7th, giving up 2 runs so far, 1 earned. And that's going to be outside, gets away from the catcher, and that's going to be ball 3. So I count 3 balls and 1 strike there to Kason Miller. As Erickson really digging in there on the pitcher's mound. As Kason Miller, 308 hitter for Northern Cass. That's going to be swung on, big swing and a miss for strike 2. So loads up the count now. Erickson on Kason Miller. 1 down, that runner, Cody Wadeson, still on 3rd. Has an RBI. And then another run scored. That was Brooks Crockett and Chris Hoyland coming around to score, bringing that DHB scoreboard now 9-5. Kason Miller with the full count. Erickson with the delivery, swung on, and that's fouled off. So battling up there, Kason Miller on Erickson. Erickson in the game now with 12 pitches in the game. as the winner of this game goes on to play immediately after this or following this game or this contest, and they'll face Oak Grove. Oak Grove here earlier in the game, where with that bracket update, as Oak Grove was a winner over Oaks. And that swung on, high fly ball here to center fielder, drifting over and catching it, recording the second out. Taken up is Wadeson. Wadeson's going to come across to score, but there is 2 out. Miller flies out, but he's going to drive in a run. So here in the gap, right center, they record the third out, or excuse me, recording the second out, but the run does come across for the third run of the inning off of Wadeson. Yeah, as their new score now 9-6 in favor of Sargent County, but only 1 out here as the Jaguars down to their last out. That'll bring up Parker Anderson. Anderson in the game 0 for 3. He grounded out in the second, then struck out in the 4th and 5th innings. As that'll drop in for strike 1. So Parker Anderson now behind in the count. You're leading things off. 1 out remaining for Northern Cass in this inning. No runners on as they've cleared the bases. That's going to drop high or drift high for ball 1. So 1 ball, 1 strike to Parker Anderson. As Erickson getting the call here to close things out for Northern Cass. Or excuse me, for Sargent County, as he's given up 2 runs now, or giving up 3 runs in the inning, 2 earned. And that's going to drop in for another strike. So Parker Anderson down to his last strike. Northern Cass down to their last out. As Erickson working out of the stretch. Takes the look in, and the delivery off the big step, and that's going to be ball 2. So 2 balls, 2 strikes for Sargent County's Erickson. Erickson, you're ahead now. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Swung on for strike 3, strikes him out, and that'll do it for the game. As that strikeout there by Braxton Erickson will set down Northern Cass. And Northern Cass here in this inning with 3 runs off of 1 hit and 1 error by Northern Cass. And nobody left on base. As your final score here, Sargent County 9, Northern Cass 6. As we're going to go ahead and step away for a quick timeout. We'll come back, and then we're going to send it down to Chase Miller on the field with our player update there, or with our in-game interview. So that's just ahead here, YourLiveEvent.com. We'll be back in 30 seconds.
Welcome to the 130th Annual Norman County Fair, June 24th through 27th, Ada, Minnesota. FFA Day. New this year, Jindo Bingo, the Big Air ATV show in the R&J Broadcasting Grandstand. Plus free music, basketball challenge, Check 6 Veterans Day, Youth Day, Senior Day, racing, the Mooncats, lumberjack shows, and so much more. For the full schedule, visit NormanCountyFair.com. Norman County Fair, Ada, Minnesota, June 24th through 27th. It's where summer begins and the fun never ends.
The World of Outlaws late models are coming to Norman County Raceway on June 30th, 2026. Infield seating, your chance to meet your favorite National Touring Series drivers, and much, much more. Tickets are available now at ncraceway.com.
Order yours today, and we'll see you June 30th, 2026.
R&J Broadcasting Incorporated is accepting applications for a broadcast sales representative. Applicant should be self-motivated, organized, have ability to communicate clearly, and the desire to help our customer partners grow their business with customer service for their advertising and marketing needs. All experience levels are encouraged to apply. To apply, email your resume to apply@rjbroadcasting.com. R&J Broadcasting Incorporated is an equal opportunity employer.
All right, hey, welcome back here, LiveEd.com. You're here from Cummings Field in Oaks, North Dakota. As your final score, Sargent County 9, Northern Cass 6. We're back here for our Dakota Heritage Bank post-game interview, sharing our heritage, sharing our future with locations in North Dakota and Minnesota. That's dhb.bank. So we're going to send it down to the Chase Miller on the field with our DHB post-game interview.
Thank you very much, Brent. With us here, Elijah Hansen. Elijah, first things first, congratulations on the win. Top 4 here in the region, obviously looking to be top 3 with one more game coming up. What did you see from your team to claw out a victory here in this one against the Jags?
I just seen that we never gave up, even when we were down there in the
the second or third inning there. We just never gave up, and we try to keep our heads up at all times and just get ready to hit in the next inning.
Yeah, you go through in this particular contest 4 innings of work, a couple of hits against you, but you came in and really shut the door down really nice, and obviously a big knock there as well late in the contest in the 6th inning to get a couple runs across. What did you just kind of see at the at-bat there from your team in that 6th inning to get those runs and kind of pass the baton, if you will?
I just seen what we've seen all season. We've been a really good hitting team all season, so we normally get hits with runners in scoring position, and that's what we did today. So
I know beforehand I asked what was sweeter, the mound or the hit. So I'll ask you again now with everybody that's tuning in at home, what was sweeter, the mound or the big hit there?
The big hit. I've been in kind of a slump, so I'm kind of happy to get that big hit there.
You go up against Oak Grove. You obviously played them here earlier in the tournament. What's it going to take to try to get the W against the Grovers here a second time around, Elijah?
It's going to take everything. We got about two of our starters with all their pitches left, so we're sitting pretty good.
Hey, Elijah, I know it's a quick turnaround. We'll let you go celebrate. Best of luck moving forward.
All right, thank you.
That again, Elijah Hansen. Back to you, Brent.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. All right, we're going to go ahead. We're going to step away for a quick 30-second timeout. We'll come back for more. We'll wrap this thing up and hand out some of our players' award, and then we're going to get set for our follow-up game here as our winners, the Sargent County Bulldogs, will take on the Oak Grove Grovers. So we're going to go ahead and step away for a quick 30-second timeout. Come back for more on yourliveevent.com.
Take your softball or baseball skills to the next level with personalized instruction from the professional staff at the Ball Yard. Their mission is to provide area players, young and old, the opportunity to improve their skills in a professional level facility and to provide a high level of instruction to youth players to help them achieve their goals at the Ball Yard. Come and visit the one place in the Fargo-Moorhead area where it's always summer. For more information, go online to fmballYard.com. That's fmballYard.com.
What was that? Is that top insurance?
No, I'm pretty sure it's Toop Insurance.
Maybe Toupee.
Could be Toupee. Yeah, I don't know.
Or Taupe Insurance, maybe?
I don't think so.
Say it right. That's T-O-O-P. That's Taupe.
Oh, it's Taupe.
That's Taupe Insurance in Castleton. Get in touch with Ryan today for a quote or review of your policies.
All right, welcome back here to yourliveevent.com as we're back for more. As your final score, it's Sargent County 9, Northern Cass 6, as we have that Dakota Heritage Bank that Bank North bracket breakdown. Just looking at your bracket now as the winner, Sargent County, won 9-6 over Northern Cass. They're going to go ahead and they're going to take on the Oak Grove Grovers, as Oak Grove previously had defeated Oaks in the game that preceded this by a score of 16-6. As your next game coming up here on yourliveevent.com will feature Sargent County as they will face the Oak Grove Grovers. And starting things out on the day there with that bracket breakdown, it was number 1 seed Kindred over Central Cass. That was by a score of 5-3. So Kindred into the first championship game, as Central Cass will go ahead and they will play the winner of this game. So Central Cass will play the winner of this game on Monday at 4 p.m. As we're going to go in and we'll hand out some of our Players Award, as Chase just had that post-game interview there, that DHB post-game interview with our player of the game, our Enbridge Energy player of the game. Life takes energy from energy for life at Enbridge.com, and that's going to go out to Elijah Hansen for the Sargent County Bulldogs. Hansen coming in relief, pitching 4 innings for Sargent County as he picks up the win, and also with a big double as he knocked in or recording 2 RBIs off of that double there for Elijah Hansen with that deep fly ball here into left center field, going all the way back to the fence there. So Elijah Hansen picks up that Enbridge Energy player of the game for Sargent County. And then with your HTC connection to the game, discover local reliability you can trust at Halstead Telephone. It's how to connect at halsteadtel.com. And that HTC connection of the game, that's going to go to that solo home run shot there by Chris Hoyland, as Hoyland coming there in that 5th inning with that solo shot off of Elijah Hansen. And that'll be your HTC connection of the game there for the for Chris Hoyland and the Northern Cass Jaguars. And then your Agassi Egg Precision Play of the game, your local precision planning dealer, Agassi Precision Egg in Hillsboro. Call 701-436-2109 or visit plannerdoc.com. And that Agassi Egg Precision Play of the game, that's going to go out to the pitching staff there of the Sargent County Bulldogs, as Sargent County coming through that relatively unscathed, as they were able to get 2 innings out of Harry Newstall. So Newstall still with another appearance remaining, able to come back if needed today or later on in the tournament, as he went 2 innings, giving up no runs. And then they brought in Elijah Hansen and then Erickson closing things out. Got a little bit interesting there in that bottom half of the 7th inning, but Braxton Erickson able to close things out. And Sargent County picking up the win there with that Agassi precision play of the game there with their pitching staff. As that'll do it here for the Region 1 contest here in this Region 1 tournament. As Sargent County, your final score, Sargent County 9, Northern Cass 6. We're going to go ahead and we'll step away. We'll come back for that winner here, or the winners on the day there, as it'll feature Sargent County taking on Oak Grove. So that's just ahead on yourliveevent.com. We're going to go sign off. So for myself, Brent Dick, Joey Hughes, and Chase Miller, we're going to sign off. We'll come back for more, as we'll be on another game stream. So we'll see you right around 10 to 15 minutes on that stream. So signing off here is Brent Dick along with Joey Hughes, Chase Miller on yourliveevent.com.